What's up everybody, I'm Dr. Winters. I've been in the dental profession for over 10 years and a lot of it has been you guys tagging me and me educating you across the internet because I'm basically the internet's dentist at this point. So that's right, you guys tag me in all the crazy oral care videos across the world and I educate you on what the heck is going on, and trust me, there was a lot of crazy ones today because you guys have tagged me in some wild ones. So let's go ahead and get right into reacting. Apparently these are the secrets of a dentist. Okay, oh my gosh. I know exactly where that one's going right there. Now she might be onto something with this first life hack, but before that happens, there's something I need to do. I'll be right back. Ha! What's up everybody? We made it back and we're in a new studio, and yes, it's not finished yet. Obviously this isn't real yet, but it will be soon. And I couldn't have done it without you guys. You have been supporting me so much, all the way from tiny little followers back in 2019, all the way up to now 2025. Holy moly, we've been doing this a very, very long time, and this is our third studio now, and hopefully this one lasts a lot longer. And as you guys can see behind me, I have a whole array of things that really, I think, introduce me as a person pretty well for me. We got gaming, we got anime, we got video games, we got golf, we got all my something nice goodies that you guys can see here, because this year I'm going all in on something nice. We're really trying to make it the best oral care company in the world and beat all those stinky old oral care companies that don't care about you and only care about that money. That's right, it's time for a new champion out in the world, and that's something nice. And like I said, the life hack that she's onto there at the very beginning, she's on to something there with that, because you know, getting floss between your teeth is also really, really important. I mean, that's one of the most important things, is physically removing the plaque between your teeth. But getting something like toothpaste on there that has some fluoride or nanohydroxyapatite, particularly like our Zero toothpaste or something like that, is going to be a game changer. In fact, we actually make the threads on our floss with xylitol in the middle to try and get some of that. But having a toothpaste supercharge between your teeth is actually amazingly smart. So that's actually a really good life hack, because let's be honest, I bet you none of you have actually put fluoride or some type of anti-cavity protection between your teeth. I actually can almost guarantee you haven't, unless you're using our floss picks. So would the Bentist recommend this? Actually, yes. Now let's see what other life hacks this person has. The soap bottle gone. You know, I know exactly where this is going. We talked about this 101 times. She's gonna try and put her own little homemade toothpaste concoction inside of here. Guys, we've talked about this 1,000 times. The toothpaste is meant to go inside of the tube, and it's for protection and gas layers and things like that. If you put it into a clear tube like this, the light's gonna denature the stuff that works in it, if there is anything that works in the toothpaste, and completely mess it up. She's adding baking soda. That's fine, you could do that. The problem is, I can just stop it right now. This is a waste. You're wasting the tube, you're wasting the soap you're dumping out, you're wasting everything like that. It's not good. It's meant to go in a tube for a reason, and you want some protection in there. So no, this life hack doesn't work, but the first one completely does. Now, if only we could have a flosser that could just like hand dip in the solution like that. That'd be actually pretty smart, I'm not gonna lie. You guys told me this was, oh my gosh.
Every day. But he didn't do it today.
Oh, he is not brushing.
And that's why he had so much plaque.
Okay, so first off, this is a great example of somebody who is brushing never. Okay, this is not a one-day brushing scenario. That much plaque, that is insane. Now you feel the grittiness, the goopiness on your teeth after a day of not brushing, that just very light gritty stain, that will compound on each other and build and build and grow and grow and grow. This person has probably not brushed in a year. It's probably not brushed in maybe longer than a year. And that's actually insane. And what you're seeing is this goopy, gunky, organic plaque that builds on there. Now, what you're not seeing is that plaque will actually turn into a hard cement like calculus inside and between your teeth. And that's actually makes it even easier for the plaque to stick on. But you can see him just, let's go ahead. Oh my gosh, just scraping it off there. And you can see how inflamed and puffy the gum tissue is. And that's actually another sign that you're gonna see from heavy plaque usage. Oh my gosh. I just don't understand in my head like how you could leave this on your teeth all day long. It would be feeling so gross. The fact that you could just go and just swipe that off, like how? When you're eating or any of that, I'm like, what? This has me at a loss, honestly, and everybody had been tagging me in this saying the Bentist has gotta see this, and trust me, I've seen this before. You know, actually we saw it a lot in kids in dental school, you know, maybe with underserved, underprivileged kids who maybe the parents don't teach them how to brush or don't care or don't look after them. It ends up looking like this. So let's go ahead and look at the comments and see what we got going on. Someone says, is it weird that I remove my own plaque with my nails or my shirt because I don't like the feeling? Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, you feel the gunk on there, you gotta get that off at the end of the day. Like, how can you let it get like that thick? That's crazy. Someone said, can you smell the tartar? And the answer is yes. Actually, you do get a lot of this halitosis-based stuff coming from that. So yeah, you can actually. And someone said, why is his gum squishy? Well, that's an inflammation. Your gums and bone hate to be around plaque and inflammation and nastiness. So what they do, they poof up, they get inflamed, they have the inflammation come in, and then the bone actually dissolves. That's why how you get bone loss in your mouth, is from holding plaque and calculus like that on your teeth. So a lot more than just nasty looks is happening to them. He's got a potential for cavities. He's getting a ton of calculus. His gum and inflammation is getting nasty, which is making his bone recede, his gums recede, is overall gonna lead to him losing every single one of his teeth eventually by not brushing his teeth like that. Highly don't recommend. What the, why did you guys tag me in this? What am I looking at here? Is this like a thing? This is like a real thing. This thing has over 200,000 likes and millions of views. Okay, that's so I mean, obviously what you guys probably tagged me in is the thing in her mouth. Okay, that is a cheek retractor, as some would call it. And actually it does have a really good function. Not this though. And she decorated it, which is really unhygienic in a dental office, by the way, because it can get tons of cavity and goop in it. And you probably think that the cheek retractor is meant just to hold your lips back so your lips don't get in the way. And while that is slightly true, it's actually not the main reason why we use it. And it's actually because water and saliva is it's our common enemy in dentistry. We absolutely hate it. And that's because when we do bondings on you, like we do the dental bonding, or if we do braces or anything like that, if even the slightest bit of water, saliva, anything gets on that bonding area, it will ruin the bond, meaning that that filling will just fall off and not stick, or the braces will come off, etc., etc. That's why you've probably known friends who maybe had a bunch of brackets fall off at the very beginning of their thing. And it's probably because saliva got everywhere and got nasty. And so these cheek retractors will actually pull everything back to help us keep the area clean and also dry. Because if we can keep the environment sterile and dry, then that stuff is gonna stick and last a really long time without breaking all that bond. So next time you get in a cheek retractor at the dentist, think about this girl. I don't know, I wouldn't. That's gonna cause nightmares, I'm pretty sure. Let's look at the comments. That's funny, someone said how wide the dentist wants me to open my mouth after they say open a little wider for the 25th time. And that's actually another funny thing, because yes, your jaw gets tired and you don't realize that when you open it, it will slowly close on you and you don't even realize. And so we tell you to open to reset it, because you don't even know that you're closing your mouth. But yes, you do close your mouth, just so you know. Oh my gosh, I love your outfit. Dude, that's creepy, man. I'm just saying. I don't know how you get into this sort of cosplay or whatever it is, but I don't think this is my cup of tea, I'm not gonna lie. But I guess it is a good use of mouth retractors. Outside of dentistry, that is.
She smiled at him with her lower teeth.
Oh my gosh. Why did I never think about that? She kind of looks like the donkey off Shrek. Doesn't he do that or something like that? But the funny thing is what if I told you that this is gonna happen to all of you eventually? Well, with age. Because you see this upper lip? This upper lip is nice when you're young. It's nice and plump. It's ready to go when you smile. You see the whole entire top and bottom of your teeth. But eventually age and gravity wins. This top lip will get longer and longer and loosen up. And it will eventually cover your top teeth to when you smile, you only smile with your lower teeth. And that's, you're gonna see this now that I'm talking about this, you're gonna see all these old people and they're gonna be like this and they just are out there smiling. And it's because their upper lip is so long, it's covering their teeth. This is why it's super important if you have a really gummy smile. I actually tell people it's not the end of the world, because if you have a really gummy smile, when you're older, 35, 40, 50 years old, as that lip gets longer, you're actually gonna look way more youthful than all of your friends that had a good smile when they were 18, 19, 20. So you're technically just getting it on the back end instead of the front end. So for all my gummy smile people out there, it's not the end of the world for you. That being said, please don't ever smile with your lower teeth. I mean, it's very, very weird. Let's go ahead and look at the comments, see what they have to say. Oh my God, these photos. And yes, that dog is kind of what I was thinking with the Shrek the donkey shit. I'm donkey. Oh my gosh, the guy from Wolf of Wall Street. It's like, you're not getting anybody excited with a lower smile, I'm gonna tell you that. I guess that tells you that all those romance novels that all those girls read, a lot of stuff is just, well, it's fake inside. So maybe just don't take it all for reality. I guess you probably could have got that with the whole like vampires loving werewolves and all that stuff too, but who knows? Apparently you tagged me and said this girl has the literally best smile you've ever seen in the entire world. So after 4 years of braces, oh my gosh, what even is that? Was that just chiseled in by the Greek gods themselves? Let me hang on. So yeah, we got to say, first off, we had braces, we got rubber bands everywhere. So that means she probably had a little bit of a tongue thrust and an open bite. Now let's see what it finished as. Okay. God dang. Okay, so that's very interesting. She really does have a very good smile. Hers is very square though. Not often do we recommend square teeth on females. We actually will round those corners to make them softer. And the reason is a feminine shape is a more softer, rounder shape, and so the rounder teeth match with that. Now that being said, if you do have a sharp jawline or you have a well-defined jawline, like she actually has a pretty well-defined jaw angles there, you can get away with square shaped teeth, which is actually what they've done here. They've polished it very flat, and you see everything is really flat across. Also, she probably grinds her canines a little bit, which make them a little flatter too, but that is a very, very pretty smile, and for her face and everything else, matches really, really good. But let me know, are you a fan of the round, softer teeth, or do you want to just straight across? Sometimes if you go too crazy with this straight across, like if her lower teeth weren't just slightly lower than her secondary teeth there, it would look like just a straight denture straight across, and it does not look very good. So you do want to be careful about that. I really like following the smile arc of the lip line instead of just going, but in her case, this one looks really, really good. And I can see why you guys that were like, dang, this smile is insane. Let's see what the comments had to say. Someone said, do not, I repeat, do not stop using those retainers. That is so true. Please do not stop wearing your retainers. They look so good. Just please leave them that way. Someone said, this is the best outcome from braces I've ever seen. I mean, dude, they are pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. To be fair though, some people just have really good setups. Like they have good shaped teeth, they have good shaped faces. It makes it really easy for us to make things that look really good. If you have really jacked up shaped teeth, even if we get them perfectly straightened in the perfect spots, the shape of your teeth determines how things look a lot. And she has really nice, straight, big teeth, and that helps a ton. That face, that's exactly the same face I made. I was like, it's really cool though. I do love the fact that at the end of this, we get to make this almost art piece that people get to carry around with them forever. And it's one of the things that literally make them so happy. They can finally smile, they can get a girlfriend, boyfriend, they can go out and be the world without hiding behind stuff. It's really, really cool and really, really something that I love a lot. Okay, all right, we got my buddy Jake. Oh, I've been waiting for this such a long time. Seeing my smile for the first time. Oh my gosh, dude. Those look so good. If you guys don't know, Jake and I have been doing this whole, content game since 2019 early on. He's a tattoo creator, and he told me back then that he wanted to fix his smile forever. Back 2019, he had a bad issue with teeth that he had let go and everything like that. And he finally has gotten it done over 5-6 years ago. And I know what you're wondering, you're saying, Bentist, well, what did they look like before? Well, I'm sure he's posted a video of it, we can find it. Ah, there we go. And you can see just how crazy of a transformation this really is. You can see just kind of how bombed out the teeth were originally due to whatever reason you want to give there. It could be, due to a multitude of reasons. But I remember he was so scared of the dentist initially, and I think this is really important for people to see, is that you don't know where you're gonna be. You don't know what it's about. You're scared. It costs a lot of money. All these things can happen, and a lot of people will give up, but Jake never gave up. He always kept trying to figure out the next step, the next step, the next step. And the first step is just going to a dentist, getting a cleaning, and talking to them. Obviously, he talked to me and asked me questions and got these updates and things like that. But overall, the general dentist talked to him, got him through everything, showed him the process, and then he had the balls to go ahead and get it done and get it all changed and make a big step for him and his life. And look at this result. He's smiling everywhere. It looks so cool. And actually, he messaged me after he got it done, and he was just like, man, thank you for all the help and everything. And super cool to see another person almost get their wings, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got their smile back. You can tell, like, it's insane. Like, this is what he does for a living. His mouth is always on camera. He's doing things, and it's gonna change everything for him. And I wish we could find a way to get this out to the masses. That's part of what we're doing at Something Nice is, I don't know if you guys know this, but my end goal of Something Nice, my oral care company, is actually to solve oral disease completely. I want to get rid of oral disease completely. And I know, does that kill my profession? Kind of, yeah, a little bit, but that's my end goal. I want to do it. I think we could do it. And so everybody one day can have a smile like this. That was so awesome. So congrats to you, Jake. I think it's super awesome what you're doing, buddy. And keep grinding. We've been doing this a long time, and we're gonna keep on doing it. All right, buddy. Oh my gosh, you guys tagged me again. Friendly reminder to wear your rubber bands. What do we have here? Well, we've got the spring girl. Well, technically she's not the spring. She's got Forces in there, which is a type of spring. Actually, they have different types, but this is what you get if you don't wear your rubber bands, guys. And that's why she's saying friendly reminder to wear your rubber bands. If you don't know, we use in braces orthodontics. We can straighten your teeth all up with the braces and wires. But if you have an underbite, overbite, open bite, we need rubber bands to help change change the growth of your jaw to fix those. And only wearing your rubber bands over time is gonna make that happen. So if you don't wear your rubber hands, well, we gotta take things into our own hands and put something like a spring like this and force this, or put like a TP spring or something like that in your mouth to basically force you to wear your rubber bands. Now, one of the things that's interesting with her case is she never got to wear rubber bands. And the way that I know that is she has no braces on her lower teeth. So sometimes what orthodontists will do, and it's smart, is if they have certain, big overbites or things like that, what they'll do is they'll only put braces on the top, and then they'll only put braces on maybe a few spots back here to allow that forces to connect. So that basically what happens is it only works on the lower jaw without kind of correcting everything else. So she doesn't have the braces on there, so she actually never wore her rubber bands because she never got a chance to. But if you get braces top and bottom and they're allowing you to try and wear your rubber bands first, please wear them, and then you won't have to worry about this. It is pretty much almost always a compliance problem, meaning that the kid just did not want to wear their rubber bands, which is why a spring or a forces comes in. But sometimes like this, if we get you like 6 months before growth or whatever like that, we'll put this in and we'll allow it to work for about 6 months before we get braces on the entire top and bottom. Let's see what the people in the comments had to say. Someone said, remind me every hour, please, I forget. I should make like an app or something that is like on your little phone that just like pops up every hour. It's like, hey, is your rubber bands in? Your rubber bands in? Just have it like a free app. I could totally do that. Dude, I did not realize how many people are asking to be reminded. Someone said, remind me, please. I see this every day. Remind me if you read this. Remind me if you see this. Remind me, please. Remind me, I'm begging you. Dude, you guys really need to be reminded of your rubber bands. That's insane. A little trick that you can use that we always told people is when you take them off, like obviously always have the same routine. So you're gonna put on a fresh pair in the morning after you brush your teeth. You're gonna put on a fresh pair at night whenever you get done brushing, and you're gonna put on a fresh pair after maybe lunch or say, okay? And so what I always did was when you take off your rubber band, you can do two things. If you have a pencil or a pen that you use in class, wrap it around the end, your old one that's on there. And so what'll happen is you'll be using your pencil in class and you'll see that rubber band on the eraser side, and you'll be like, oh crap, I need to put my rubber bands in. Another thing that you can do is you can put it around your pinky finger, but sometimes that's too tight and it'll cut off blood circulation. So if that happens, don't worry about that. But I think the pencil thing works pretty good because you guys still use pencils and pens in class. Am I that old that you guys don't use pencils and pens in class and you only use laptops? Then if so, well, that's a problem. But it's a really great way to know if you need to wear your rubber bands to keep you and to help you remind yourself. Also, keep a bag everywhere. Keep it in the car, keep it at home, keep a bag in your locker, everywhere, so you have no excuse to not wear your rubber bands because they are that important, I promise. All right, you guys tagged me in this. Said the orthodontists say it's $400 for oh my gosh, she's just going straight in with is that a pair of nail clippers? Before and after flossing? Okay, yeah. There's so much wrong with this that we could get into. Where do you guys want to start? First, you got to understand how braces are removed, okay? There's a little slot in the middle, and then when we bend them, they bend with a special plier, and then they pop off the tooth, stopping you from ripping off your enamel. If you're going in with just straight up nail clippers, one, that's nasty. Those have been on your toenails. And two, it can actually break and damage the enamel, which is a problem, okay? Now, obviously, this happens a lot whenever people stop paying, or mostly their parents stop paying, or they move, or something like that. And then the kid's stuck with braces forever, and it's kind of sad because the parents are like, I don't care that you got braces stuck in your teeth. I'm not gonna do anything because it costs $400. So I totally understand why kids and people take stuff into their own hands because they're like, well, if my parents aren't gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it myself with what I got. I feel for you, that sucks. But here's a couple things that will go wrong if you do this. One, you can hurt your enamel like we just talked about. Two, you're gonna have glue left on your teeth. That's a real big issue because you got glue stuck on your teeth, and that's not cool either because it looks a little bit better than I'm braces on your teeth, but now you got gunky stuff on your teeth, and when you smile and talk to people, they're gonna think you got gunky stuff on your teeth. And unfortunately, if you're going back to the dentist that you owe money to, they're gonna charge you to take that off, and if you go to another dentist, they're gonna see that you ripped off your braces, and they can't do anything legally because you're still bound in a contract with another dentist. It's a big mess. You're kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place a lot of the times because one, if you can't afford it, it sucks because you just have to deal with it, and two, if you can't afford it, it kind of sucks because it costs so much money to get them off. But let's avoid doing it ourselves because it really can cause more issues than it really is saving for. If you break a tooth or something, that's gonna cost way more than $400. Let's see what the comments have to say. They will ship back without a retainer, so you wasted your money. I didn't even think about that part. Man, I totally forgot about that. Yes, your teeth will shift because you don't have a retainer, and then your teeth are gonna go back, and then you're gonna have to pay for the whole braces experience all over again. So that's another huge thing. And then someone said, yeah, exactly what I was thinking. It was like, how are you gonna get the glue off? And then someone said the brackets might come off, but that glue is forever. And that is what I was talking about. It's gonna turn yellow, it's gonna look nasty, and it's gonna be worse than having the braces on there almost, because at least people are gonna think you got braces going on if you got braces on. But it's also not healthy to keep braces on because you can get cavities and things. Such a rock and a hard place issue. I really wish there was an easy way to help people in this scenario, but it's very tough.
Eating a bowl of frozen
Bowl of frozen frost. Bro's got the massive freezer burn going. How do you even get your thing there? What's she eating? Does that not taste like freezer burn? Does that not taste terrible? But for real though, even though this concerns me, and how did she get a freezer to produce so much freezer ice out of it that you can scoop a whole bowl full of them? I mean, you can make snow cones out of that stuff. But what concerns me more is normally the people that crave ice. They crave this. And in fact, people will do that. They'll get a whole freezer where they'll just scoop out ice and they'll just eat it all the time because they're just craving ice. And what if I told you that there's some health implications there that are actually probably causing that? Because interestingly enough, craving ice is also known as pagophagia, I believe is how it's pronounced. And weirdly enough, it's almost always associated with some type of iron deficiency or anemia, and it's vastly greater in females than males. So every time I see someone doing ASMR ice eating or doing stuff like this, I almost immediately go into iron. I'm like, you're iron deficient. That's the reason why. I mean, she could be just doing it because it's an ASMR channel. I don't know. I don't know what you guys are into these days, but she very well could have an iron deficiency or anemic. Let's see if anybody in the comments figured that out. Someone said my freezer frost has either blood on it or seafood tape. What? What type of, what do you got it going on in your freezer? That's wild and weird. Maybe it's meat, like some meat dripped out on the, that's what I'm gonna hope so, that you're not crazy. Oh, it says freezer frost is made from the chemicals in the side of deep freezer or normal freezer that makes it frost up. I don't know if that's true or not, but my freezer frost tastes terrible. That's what that freezer burn taste is, so I can only imagine what that bowl of frost tasted like. It probably tasted disgusting. Well, all I saw was a bunch of people who loved ice, and so maybe I'll get your iron levels checked. That'll probably be something that can help you. But at least now you know. All right, let's see what you guys tagged me in here now.
Dude, he was hiding here.
What'd they put on his forehead?
Yo, and they gave him this huge bling chain.
It's coming
What is
out.
this?
It's coming out.
Stop yanking on me. That hurts. Ah, ow, hoo, hoo. Hey, still feel like running around?
Man, that tooth.
That weirdly was true. Kind
Dude,
of.
how did you get cracked?
Didn't do much. Just got hit by something. Stay back! Ah!
Oh my gosh, they're doing like a
My dude's
little.
gone and you're still
Oh,
drilling?
doing a root
Such
canal and a
huge hole. This
post
thing can
on
see
him.
right through stuff. What the heck is this?
Apparently this was made by like Sora 2 or whatever, and
Tried to crack a nut.
I don't even know if this guy made these or if it was just generated by AI, but
buddy over there. Look what you did.
Stopped your meat so
oh my gosh, he's just laying
I'll
there.
do whatever I want. None of your business. Whoa, what the hell was that? Why am I so tired all of a sudden?
Oh god, that's actually how they do it. They do dissect the tooth before they take it out.
That wisdom tooth of yours was something else. Had to break it into 4 pieces to get it out.
Hey, what are you doing? Don't come this way. Just go straight up. I just got out here.
What a world we live in. I'm pretty sure these were all AI generated. I don't know, I've seen some crazy stuff out of Sora 2 lately. Are we cooked? But these were actually pretty educational and kind of funny. So I don't know, I'm kind of here for it. What do you guys think? What the? How is that even possible? I don't know what disturbs me more, the fact that you guys tagged me in this or that you thought it was oral care related enough to tag me in it. But weirdly enough, this is actually linked to something that I can teach you in oral care, and that is popping your jaw. That's right, I know you guys out there like cracking your things, and I have a lot of people that have little popping jaws, and they love to pop them all the time. They go, they just open in their mouth and they're popping. They're popping all their jaw stuff. And what if I told you that's actually a terrible idea? Now, unlike popping your fingers, which is a normal deal, and actually from what I see, it's actually pretty healthy. It's just like releasing gas chambers. Popping your jaw is not the same, because the sound of your jaw popping in and out is actually not a gas release like a knuckle. It's actually you have a ball and socket joint. And every time that you open your mouth enough to pop, it pops out of place and pops back in. And that thing is only held by a couple little rubber bandy ligaments in there. So every time you're popping your jaw, well, one, you shouldn't be able to pop your jaw because that means that your ligaments are loose enough to allow it to come out of the socket and pop out. And if it goes too far, it gets locked and you get into I can't cut it out, I got a lockdown. And you don't want to get to that phase. So every time you open your mouth to try and pop it and you're like, just doing that all the time when you're eating and showing your friends what you can do, well, you're loosening that ligament up. So you may only pop out this much, but as you do that over time, it's gonna get more and more and more lengthened until all of a sudden, you cannot bring your jaw back together again, and then you are out of luck at that point. Because once that ligament is too long, then you have to get surgery to actually fix the whole jaw joint and then basically pin down a new ligament to where it stays into place again. So we always tell people whatever it does to pop your jaw, don't do that. So if that means that you can't open your mouth super wide and yawn, sorry, you're not yawning anymore. Anything you can do to stop it from getting worse and worse and worse is the #1 key to what you need to do to keep that jaw healthy for the rest of your life. And also, please don't try whatever this guy did. That looks very dangerous, and I would probably pop 25 bones out of sockets if I did that. All right, let's see what we got. I could not read that. That looks like Russian or something down there. Oh my gosh. It looks like one single snaggletooth there. Gosh, that boy's locked in. I know exactly what's going on there. Well, I know the question that you guys are all asking. Why does this man have a single pink tooth in the middle of his mouth? And the answer is, well, that's not a tooth, actually. That's a handle. And even though it looks hilarious, it's actually a little more serious than that, because what they're doing is they're making dentures for this poor old man. He's got no teeth. And so to do it, you have to roll up and you have to make this denture base that fits your teeth and everything. This could be just an impression. This could be the denture base for a prosthesis that they're making. And, you know, unfortunately, sometimes you have these things called undercuts in impressions. And so where an undercut is if the ridge of your mouth goes inside and has like a little undercuttiness area here. When the impression material goes down and hardens, it hardens up underneath that undercut, so it can't come out anymore. And we actually have to really take this into account in dentistry a lot when we're doing any type of thing, crowns or dentures or anything. We really have to avoid undercuts for this reason, because if you put it in there and it has an undercut, just like this, it's stuck in there, and then you gotta get it cut out. So if this guy really can't get it out, he probably will have to use a drill or something and drill through and cut it into pieces to basically relieve it from that undercut so that it can actually come out. Luckily though, it's not the end of the world. This poor man will be okay. Let's see what the comments have to say. Oh my gosh, these photos, you guys are killing me. Bro, I didn't realize how many characters had single one teeth out there. That's kind of wild. Oh my gosh, the Patrick one. That was what I was thinking of when I saw it was the Patrick one. I'm not gonna lie, there's no other comments literally on the post other than just pictures of people with one tooth. You guys are ruthless. But yeah, well, at least you guys know what's going on now, so I hope that helps.
Don't get veneers unless you want to eat like this for the rest of your life. Also, I didn't get veneers because of cosmetic reasons. I got them because I needed them. But this is how I have to eat, because my top teeth are veneers, and so I use my fingers as my top teeth, because if you're supposed to be able to eat with veneers for foods that are like this is pretty soft, but I literally broke one of them on a Hershey Kiss one time, so I'm not risking it for the biscuit, for the chicken biscuit. So this is how I eat.
Well, I mean, it's not like there's a dentist out there that's been educating you guys for 6 years that's been telling you guys not to get veneers if you cannot possibly get them. But you know, hey, here we are. So she is exactly right. There is a lot of issues that I see with veneers. And in fact, now there's actually a lot of more current day veneers that are prepless veneers that are a little bit better, that don't have this issue as much, or it's not as big of a deal if they fall off. But yeah, this is a real deal. And I tell people this all the time. Not only in veneers do they have to shave off the front of the teeth. Now, she said she had to get them for whatever reason. Normally that's because she has a bunch of white spots everywhere, or maybe she just had enough decay that it warranted getting a veneer or something. But yeah, still, when you get a veneer, one, they are in the front normally exactly where you're biting, and they're only on the front little layer of your teeth. And any dental thing that you get, a filling, a composite, and a crown, root canal, whatever, there is a chance that things can break off and get messed up. And the more you have, the more chances you have of something getting messed up. And unfortunately, if you have these things that are barely layered on your front of your teeth and you go to bite into something, well, there's a lot of chances of them popping off and falling off. And so basically one of the rules I tell people is that if you're getting veneers, you will never bite anything with your front teeth ever again, because you don't want to risk a veneer popping off. That being said, I've never seen somebody use their fingers like that before. That's actually really interesting. So she goes in and then she pushes down with her finger to basically bite off the lower teeth. That sucks. I cannot imagine an entire lifetime of not being able to eat with your front teeth. And that's another reason why I tell you guys, if you like the shape of your teeth, don't get veneers or crowns. Don't go to Turkey and get turkey teeth. Just get Invisalign or braces and get it fixed and get some whitening. Now, if you absolutely hate the shape of your teeth, or you have some issue that you have to get your teeth shaved down for, like cavities or crap like that, then you can get veneers or crowns. But if you don't have those issues, don't do it, because there's way more issues than you ever think. And then after 10 years, you're gonna have to get them replaced. It's a mess, trust me. See what the comments have to say. Girl, I think they just did a bad job. That should not be your reality. And the reality is if you're biting on fillings and composites and things like that, they will pop off. if they're in a spot that they're getting jammed on every day, like your front teeth. So it's actually a pretty normal reality in veneer land for veneers to pop off the front. It happens a lot more than you think. But then again, I have 2 other people that say, I've had veneers for 12 years. It's never happened to me. And then someone else said, I don't second this because I could eat a brick house low key. And see, the thing is it just depends. It depends on your bite. Your bite may be a little more open so that you're not actually hitting on those veneers all day long. Her bite might be a little bit tighter and may hit on them. You know, it just really depends. And you are correct. It depends on the dentist. It depends on how much enamel you have to bond to it. It depends on a lot of factors. You may have crowns. She may have veneers. You may not even realize the 2 different things are going on. There's a lot going on. But yes, the case is that veneers still pop off all the time and they do cause a lot of issues, unlike your real teeth. But there are a lot of future things coming out. There's a lot of prepless veneers. There's a lot of other things coming out that are hopefully going to make the biomaterials stronger and stick on there better and all that stuff in the future. But like I said, if you don't have to deal with it and you really don't want to mess with it, then just don't do it.
Legit.
So yeah, it's pretty legit if you don't know how to read research studies. Here's the thing, I'm not knocking baking soda. I actually like baking soda. It has a low dent and abrasion. It works pretty well in your mouth and I don't mind it in toothpaste as an additive. But unfortunately, my man doesn't know how to quite read or maybe doesn't understand the difference between whitening options. Now, if you pause it on the study, you can actually see that it's not comparing baking soda to actual whitening products like our 10% hydrogen peroxide LumiSmart whitening strips at something nice. It's actually comparing it to a high abrasive dentifrice, which basically means a whitening toothpaste. If you guys didn't know, a lot of people in their whitening toothpaste blends are actually not enamel safe. That's like charcoal toothpaste and all those things. They're very, very highly abrasive and they're meant to literally just be like mild sandpaper on your teeth to just rip off your enamel to get rid of that top layer of stain. Very, very bad. So yes, baking soda can get some of that mild stain off of the front of your teeth by removal of plaque and gunk and like that. And yes, in that case, I'm sure baking soda is great, but compared to an actual whitening agent like a hydrogen peroxide or something, there is no comparison in the world that you're gonna have there. Hydrogen peroxide works way, 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 way better than just mildly brushing your teeth, because that's basically what baking soda is. It's like, yes, it's going to mildly abrade your teeth and get rid of some surface stain. That's the kind of one of the purposes of toothpaste. And basically him saying don't use whitening strips or go to a dentist because this one study says it's better than charcoal toothpaste is pretty dumb, I'm not gonna lie. Now, do you have to go to a dentist and get a $500 Zoom whitening treatment? No, I actually tell all of my patients, I don't sell that in my office because I'm like, hey, you can go get a $30 box of whitening strips from there. You can go to Dollar General and get it. You can get some from us. It's something nice if you really want to. But no, as much as I love baking soda, yes, it's a great additive into your toothpaste and you can get baking soda toothpaste and all that type of stuff. That's totally fine. But no, it's not gonna whiten your teeth anywhere near as effective as a whitening strip or hydrogen peroxide. And it doesn't matter if it's a Dollar Tree version or an expensive version, it just needs to be hydrogen peroxide. But maybe that's why I'm a dentist and he's not. Who knows? All right, seeing if my knuckle actually fits my side profile. Whoa. Wait a second, what? So this is an actual trend going on where apparently people can see if they have the perfect profile, their side thing matches that. And actually, if you pause it on hers, that fits almost perfectly exactly with her face. And actually the fun fact is, a lot of people don't realize this. In orthodontists, you think that a lot of us just think about your teeth, taking it from nasty crooked to perfectly straight, but actually we look at your profile too. And there's one thing that we look at particularly that's pretty close to this, and it's actually called your E-line. Now what the E-line is it's a line between your nose, your lips, and your chin. And you want everything to rest directly on that line to have what we call a perfect profile. If your lips are too far behind that, you have kind of more the Wicked Witch of the West look, and if they're in front of that, you kind of have this more concave shaped face. So it's this middle knuckle here that should be going underneath there. I don't think mine. Maybe I got too big a nose or something, I don't know. So maybe my profile's not as perfect as what everybody else says. But no, we wouldn't test it with your fist in a ball, although maybe weirdly enough this works in her case. But that being said, we would more aptly look at the face and those things like the E-line. Now another angle we look at is called the FMA. And this is actually called your Frankfurt mandibular plane. I know it's really weird. It's been a long time since I've had to do all these angles, but basically what this one does is tell you if you have a short face, which is kind of more those stocky, square, square, you know, kind of face, kind of like I've got, or you can have a really high FMA, which are the people with really long faces and really skinny faces. So yes, we do look at angles, and yes, we do look at side profile, but let's see what the people in the comments had to say. Someone said, it's like our fists are made for punching ourselves, which is actually kind of funny, because yeah, it does kind of fit right in there, doesn't it? Let's not go around hitting people, okay? Oh my gosh, so there's someone said, unfortunately, I have brachydactyly and my last 2 knuckles didn't show up to the party. Luckily, more than likely, her facial profile does not probably match that. So someone says, how are you able to bend your wrist that far? I was literally thinking that same thing. I was like, how do you even get to a point that you can do that? Maybe she's doing it upside down. I'm confused. Can you do this? Either way, all I can say is a lot of us have our fists to our faces right now. Let's hope that your profile's good. All right, y'all tagged me in this next one. Said, Bentist, I bet you clean your teeth good, but you don't clean near as good as this dentist does. So I wanted to take a look at it and see exactly how good this dentist is cleaning their teeth. So let's check it. Cleaning my teeth at work. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, so first off, she's got the dental dam going in there. And then she's got basically what she's putting on there is disclosing liquid. What that disclosing liquid does is it actually attaches to the plaque that's in your mouth so you can actually see it. And so actually when you're smiling there, you know, I'm gonna pause it real quick. You can't really see much on her teeth. Now, some things that I do notice, she's got a little bone loss and some gum loss back here. And then we do see some blue around the edges periodontal, which tells me that she probably does a good job brushing, maybe even a little too good of a job brushing, because she's starting to get rid of some bone resorption there, but she's not doing the greatest job flossing. And even then, it could just be because she's got all that crowding and stuff there, so it makes it tougher to floss on there. But, you know, normally when I see root loss or bone loss back here in the back, that's from our high achievers, which actually, fun fact, are a lot of dentists. And we basically try and scrub extra good to get everything off, and we end up rubbing away the gum tissue and harming it either way. But let's keep going. Okay, going over everything, and now she's getting her power brush there. Fun fact, you're actually not supposed to move electric toothbrushes that are these round type. You're supposed to let it do the work for you. Now, me personally, I like the sonic ones that allow you to brush along with the sonic, just because, once again, I'm an overachiever. But technically, if you're using an electric toothbrush like this, it should be doing all the work for you. All right, and there you go. She's got it clean, and then she's finishing up with a little interdental pick. Not the biggest fan of those personally. I think I would rather you just floss with the C-shaped flossing. It's a lot safer on your gum tissue. And although you can get these interdental things that are small enough for you to jab through there, a lot of the times people will end up damaging their gum tissue and stabbing it and hurting it and then causing the gum to recede anyways. I would just use our floss picks. We actually built them in with a little bit of looseness so that you can do the C-shape back and forth. And it also has a tongue scraper built in, so you don't even need to carry a big long tongue scraper like that. But either way, I mean, this was an amazing way to, I mean, obviously that's really aggressively hardcore on your cleaning, but I mean, it's gonna work really, really well. The only thing I wish you would have added was actually flossing instead of just jumping through with the periodontal pick there. But either way, it looks like she did a great job. Let's see what they said in the comments. Someone said, did you charge yourself? That's funny, we get that a lot. Someone said, I wonder if she just could have used that purple shampoo stuff. No, first off, that purple shampoo stuff does not work. The teeth whitening stuff doesn't work. And that purple stuff is not purple shampoo, it's a staining liquid that's purposely meant to attach to the organic plaque on your teeth. So completely different. They actually come in red and a multitude of different colors too. It just so happens that hers was purple. Someone said, what is this and how come the dentist doesn't provide it for us? Well, it's actually all things that, you know, you have a toothbrush at home, you have floss picks, you have tongue scraper, you can get all those things at home. And you can in fact even get little disclosing tablets. You can just go on Amazon and look up disclosing tablets and you just chew one of those up and it does the same thing. And there, yeah, I think they even make toothpaste now with like disclosing liquid inside of it. I don't know how safe that is, but you know, it is what it is. Either way, if you're brushing like that, I would be very happy, just to say the least. Now, you guys tagged me in this life hack, said I had to watch it, so let's see if this life hack is anything up to snuff, because you guys tag me in the weirdest life hacks sometimes, I swear. Instead of throwing your toothbrush away every day after using it, do this instead. Okay, is that like saving the turtles or something? What in the Heliante curse stuff is that? Oh, see, this is why I don't trust you guys. This is why I don't answer half the videos you guys tag me in, because it's weird stuff like this. There is actually something serious to talk about here, and that is plastic waste. Because that's right, the plastic that you get from your toothbrushes, your toothpaste tubes, and things like that is actually the #1 plastic waste inside of a home, is all right in the middle of your bathroom. Because instead of throwing it in a recycling bin or something like that, you just throw it right in the trash right there underneath you. Now, fun fact, just like we do a bunch of innovations on the product side and something nice, we actually took this pretty seriously. So if you guys didn't know, actually our toothpaste, our Zero toothpaste, is actually fully recyclable. recyclable. This is actually one of only like 2 or 3 toothpaste products in the world that are fully recyclable. That means the box, the cap, the tube, everything can be recyclable, where almost all of our competitors are not. So not only do you get an amazing product, you actually get it fully recyclable, which is kind of cool. So maybe instead of throwing away your toothbrush and putting hair on it and then sticking it in your mouth and that being all weird and gross, maybe just throw it in the recycling bin, or make sure that you find a sustainable brand like ourselves to make sure that this stuff you do have is fully recyclable. Let's see what y'all weirdos said in the comments on this one. Stay in school, this could be you. You know what? I am definitely happy that we're starting to make fun of these people for once. You know, we gotta bully some people back into being normal sometimes. Someone said, our brains are shrinking. You know, my brain was shrinking after watching that. It really did. It really did. But hopefully I expanded it by explaining to you something at least knowledgeable out of it. And now you know that the #1 waste of plasticware in your entire home is in your bathroom, and you probably didn't know that ahead of time. So, well, at least we learned something today. In this next one, somebody's getting braces, and it's not who you think it is. All right, how braces are placed. So, wait, what is that? Is that a fuggler? Oh my gosh, those are wild. Okay, so it's happening so quickly. Placing the brackets, adjusting the positions. I'm trying to see if they're doing this right or not. Okay, wires in, boom. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have to go buy this piece by piece. Excess wire, clip it, and then he's good to go. Okay, now let's go back in the beginning and actually see what we got here. Okay, so first thing that they did was, okay, first off, good thing, we put the thing around them. I like that, and then we are polishing the teeth. That's really important. You wanna make sure that you clean the teeth before you put the braces on, because if you leave plaque and gunk there, you could get a cavity underneath. That would be bad, and also the brackets don't stick as good. So they polish the teeth, that's good. Now we're applying the adhesive and air drying it. I like that. Okay, we're putting on the brackets, placing them in the right. Now, pause it there. That blue light that you saw that comes in is actually what hardens the glue. A lot of people don't understand that, but you have the adhesive layer, or like you have kind of like this clear adhesive, and then you put the regular braces glue on top of that, and that's what basically attaches it to your tooth. And then the glue, the light, is what actually hardens it. Now we're getting the wires in. Now they're using the old school brackets, which is why they have to use those little O ties. I would much rather you go find somebody who uses self-ligating brackets. I think they're way better. These are just cheaper and more old school. It's like what we used to do in the 70s. There's new technology now, just find that. And then once they get everything in there, they're gonna clip off the excess wire. And there you go, little Fuggler is on his way to get his braces. Look at him go, his journey starts. Let's see what the people in the comments have to say. Oh, so you telling me the Fuggler gets them for free and my mom gotta pay like 8 grand? Hey, you know what? Sometimes it pays to be a special person. I guarantee you if a Fuggler walked into my office and it started talking to me, I would give it free braces because I would be scared for my life, because inanimate objects don't normally speak. Also, but for real though, a lot of you guys don't understand the cost of the brackets and the material, especially the cheaper old school ones like they had. You know, that's pretty cheap. It's not too bad in that, and they're probably like $200 or $300 worth of stuff. But the real cost is the fact that you have to come in all the doctor time and do that for a year and a half, 2 years. It costs a lot of money to do that. Someone said, is this because why I'm on a 3-year waiting list? What are you at that it's a 3-year waiting list to get in your orthodontist? Find somebody else new. Come see me, our Windcrest Orthodontics. We get in Plano, Texas. If you want to have your braces done by our company, I trust you. You're gonna love it. Either way, if a Fuggler can go through it, so can you. Now, everybody out there that you know probably has a secret talent. But what if I told you that there is some secret talents you could do with your mouth that, well, better just left to be unsaid and just show you. All right, 3% of people can gleek, 1%. What the heck? Oh, my boy's a Gleek Master 5000 over here. Look at that go. Dude, that's actually wild that he can hold that much. He has to have something in his mouth that's like squirting that out. That is crazy. Fun fact, I can gleek. If you guys don't know what's going on here, this man is doing what we call gleeking. And that's basically where you have all this built up saliva in your mouth. You know, if you eat something sour and your mouth pulls up with saliva, well, you can basically put your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and then you can push down like that. And you can actually cause these little salivary ducts to shoot the stuff out. I don't know if you can see it, but I can do it too. I'll look underneath to get a little, see that come out? I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm doing it. But to do it that long and that much saliva, that's actually insane. And if somebody gleeks on you, yeah, it is kind of weird because they're basically spitting on you in a fun way. Let's see what the comments had to say. I'm sure it's nothing but happy and healthy stuff in there. Impressive. I don't think we get along. I gleek randomly and I don't know how to do it on command. Well, I'll tell you how to do it. Basically, I told you earlier, you have to stick your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and then you have to kind of fold your tongue like that way, and then just push down. And it really helps if you kind of use your tongue to kind of like get the saliva glands activated there, or put something really sour in your mouth. Yeah. You kind of push down and jut your lower jaw forward, and that's how you get it to happen. How do you have so much ammo? That was exactly what I was like, bro, I'm like, what do you got, a whole water bottle worth of saliva up in there? That guy's teeth must be so healthy. Because if you don't know, saliva washes your teeth, and if you have more saliva, your teeth are normally healthier. In fact, that's the reason why a lot of people get cavities, because genetically, their family and friends or their family genetics don't give them that much saliva, so they have drier mouth, so they get cavities easier. Fun fact. Either way, if you do learn how to gleek, it is fun, but just don't shoot it at other people. Maybe just stick to putting out candles at your house. Okay, we got a video that was viewed over 5 million times, and apparently you guys saved it over 25,000 times about these tips on dentistry. So we're gonna go through and see if they're actually true or not. Check it out. No? Yep, what are we getting into? Okay, yep, I see what we're doing here. Okay. All right. Interesting. I see exactly what they're talking about now. Okay, now we're gonna go through these and see exactly what they all were. So the first one that he talked about, he pauses it on no when it has a big glob of toothpaste. And then obviously yes is when it has a small. So then what they say is you need a pea-sized amount of toothpaste. And that's actually due to fluoride. And so because we've had fluoride in our toothpaste for so long, we need to regulate the amount of that chemical that's in your body. And so we've always said kind of use a pea size, you know, if you want to for an adult, and even use like a smear if it's for a baby, because we don't want to overuse too much fluoride. Now nowadays we have a lot better options. Nice plug for our product by something nice. Our Zero is a 10% nanohydroxyapatite, so it doesn't use fluoride like this. And because of this, you can use as much as you want. If you want to use more or less, it's totally fine for you. Some people want to still save and they use a pea size. Me personally, I like a little more product on my mouth to kind of feel like I'm getting a little more clean. And so with a 10% nanohydroxyapatite like our Zero toothpaste by something nice, it's completely safe. But no, not a bad idea, but still, it's only really mainly for fluoride. So the no on the brushing, and then yes. So what they're doing there is showing you the Bass method. And so, you know, on the front, you do want to stick it up at a 45-degree angle, go in a circle, and flick down instead of just going side to side, because the side to side doesn't get everything, and it also can damage your gum tissue if you're really scraping it. If you're going at an angle and doing this and then swiping down, you're gonna have a lot less gum damage to your gums because you're not just raking back and forth across them. Now on the top, I don't care. You can go front, back, or you can do the little circles like they're doing. And then you'll see on the inside here, it's the same thing. No back and forth. It's more of a flicking up motion. I like personally an angle down at a 45 circle and then a flick up. The goal is just to flick away from the gum line. So not terribly bad ideas, but you know, nothing like really life-changing. If you really want to learn how to brush your teeth, look up the Bass method and really watch that all the way through. It'll really explain to you the proper way to brush your teeth. And in fact, I didn't even know that there was a proper way to brush my teeth until I was in dental school. It's crazy. Someone said, well, now why the heck would I use barely anything on my teeth, bro? And like I said, it's more of a fluoride issue than anything, just trying to regulate the amount of fluoride you're getting in your body. If you're using a toothpaste like ours, you don't need to worry about it. Use as much toothpaste as you want. And in fact, our toothpaste is completely safe for kids, infants, everything else in between. There's no issues at all. I'm gonna keep brushing my teeth the way I want to, thanks. The problem with that is, like I said, if you're just one of those that just going like this back and forth, you're probably not getting everything, and two, you're probably damaging your gum tissue. So maybe you do want to brush like this. What about electric toothbrushes? Great question. If you have the circular ones that rotate like this, you just want to hold them on there and then kind of move them to each tooth. If you have the sonic vibrating ones, which are personally the ones that I kind of like, you're going to still use the Bass method while it vibrates. I kind of like the fact that I have control over getting everything and still having the power of the electric brush. The circle ones, I just don't trust as much to do all the work. Either way, just brush your teeth. Rubber bands and braces, the best little duo you'll ever see. Now this girl has some really interesting stuff to say about rubber bands that I think is important for you to hear. Let's check it out.
If you like wearing your rubber bands when they tell you to wear your rubber bands and you have braces, if you don't start wearing them, they will literally screw on a freaking spring. And imagine how uncomfortable that shit is. Not being allowed to take it off or anything like that. You know how annoying that is? Just put on your fucking rubber bands. It's not that hard.
It's true, it is really important, but why do we need to wear the rubber bands? Well, to move your teeth over time, we can do things in different ways, but we need force over time and light force over time. Now, the braces and the wires are great at getting rid of crowding, unraveling, moving things, straightening things up. Unfortunately, when it requires up and down or forward to back growth, either jaw growth or things like that, we need your help with rubber bands. And if you wear them all the time, we have light continuous forces over time that cause those teeth to grow downwards or your jaw to grow forward and backwards. A lot of really cool things. But you know what? If you don't wear them, nothing's gonna happen. And unfortunately, I'm not the type of guy that want to leave you with all this crappiness at the end of your treatment. So if you don't do your job, we gotta do your job for you and put in these things called springs. And she is very, very right. They are a lot more annoying. They're fixed in there. You can't take them out. They're always in the way when you're biting and eating and stuff like that. And it's just really, really important for you guys to know that you don't need them if you just wear the regular rubber bands. And in fact, I just put 2 springs on my patients last week because they finally, after 2 years of getting them to try and wear the rubber bands, they did not do it. And we like getting people out in a year and a half. So they were way overdue. So I said, sorry, we're gonna take it into our own hands. We gotta slap on the springs. And now, guess what? They're in springs. So wear your rubber bands, do your job. The orthodontist will do yours and you'll get out of braces with a perfect Hollywood smile, lickety split, I promise. Let's see what the comments had to say. Someone said, I loved wearing my bands. I miss my braces so much. And that was so weird because I hated my braces at first. And then by the end, I was crying to not get them off because I liked them so much. Why? Why is it? I don't know. Someone said, I didn't get the option. I went straight to springs. Now I'm just gonna say that's either an orthodontist that has had a lot of rugged past there with dealing with patients that are non-compliant, or maybe he could just tell you we're a troublemaker at day 1. You just gotta let me know. Someone literally said, I did wear them, they didn't work, so I still got the spring, and they're not that bad, I'm not gonna lie. And that's to be fair, they're not terrible, right? They're not the end of the world. That being said, just wear your rubber bands. It's way easier on you, way easier on the orthodontist, way easier on your treatment. If you do get the springs though, it's not the end of the world, and hey, look forward to it. You're gonna have a perfect smile at the end of all of it, so it's just gonna do what it's supposed to do. And this final one, you guys posted me and said, it shocked you. You said all your favorite rappers look completely different to you now after you've seen this video. So let's go ahead and check it out because it is pretty gnarly. She said she fell in love with my smile. Now, the dude's got the nice gold grills and everything like this. And then the second frame is, I guess it was just the grills. Oh my gosh, I see exactly what you guys are talking about. And I've talked about this all the time with you guys. And fun fact, why the heck this dude got a gum tooth? He got a gum tooth sticking in there. What is that papilla fistula thingy-mabopper up in there? And this is actually something I really love talking to you guys about because I don't think people understand what goes on underneath all those famous rapper grills. If these were done by a professional dentist with the grill, they would have to actually shave down some of the teeth to get those grills to fit in there, and then they would have to do their occlusion and their bite to make sure that they hit correctly. Now looking at his bite, it does not look like he has a good bite. It looks like he's just hitting there on the front of his teeth. And there's nothing really good there that I'm seeing, but when you get it off and you can see the ramifications of what he has. His bite is really weird. He's got chipped up teeth all the way here, shaved down. His lower teeth look gnarly, crowded, really hard to clean, which is gonna cause like gum disease, periodontal disease, cavities, root canals. And obviously the big thing that we all see, there's a little flappy man. What the heck is going on with that Bentist? Well, basically he made a fake tooth there. We call it a cantilever bridge. It's where you basically have a tooth that's just kind of floating where that missing tooth is. Now, unfortunately, your gums like to grow. They grow like weeds, actually. So if you don't brush and clean your teeth, your gums will actually overgrow in some cases. We see this a lot in braces. And so what happened was the gum actually grew up inside of the tooth and formed its own little gum polyp up inside of that fake tooth, which is the first time I've ever seen that. I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen that before. Either way, this does not look good. It doesn't even look like I think it was done by a dental professional. You know, the dude's hands in his mouth right now, he's got no gloves on, he's got tattoos on his fingers and stuff. He only has like gloves on his fingers. So that's like telling me that there's probably some issues going on here. And then like this tooth looks like it's rotting out, which is the one on the right. So overall, just not a lot of good stuff. Let's see what the people in the comments have to say. Someone said, I didn't know you could get hemorrhoids in your mouth. Wow, I've never thought about it that way. That's a definitely way to look at it. May I ask, what is the pink thing? That dangly thing is supposed to be in the back, not the front of the mouth. He says it's referring to excess gum from prior tooth trauma. That's not from prior tooth trauma. That's probably just literally from it growing inside the actual, grill there. You know, you really are supposed to make it to be up against the tooth. It's probably hollow is my guess, and it's growing in there, versus it needs to be removed, and then the grill that is there needs to press up against the gum tissue to cause it to grow in a certain way. So more than likely it was just wrongly put in is my guess. I know whoever kissed him with the grills is mad AF after seeing this now. Yeah, that's true. That's what I'm saying. Like, you see your famous rappers and you're like, dang, look at them with the diamond grills. It's crazy. But you don't realize they're running around with that nastiness up underneath there this entire time. Kind of makes you look at them differently this whole time, doesn't it? Either way, if you get your grills or you don't get your grills, definitely I would recommend getting the removable ones so you can still clean your teeth underneath. And if your teeth look like that, you should not be getting grills. You should be getting dental work to fix what you've got going on.
See, they don't touch.
Oh my gosh, we've got some implants.
I will never know what it feels like to have these things like poke me.
That's good. Where are the teeth at? Oh, there they are.
And it was definitely, I almost dropped my teeth. That would have been bad. Well, not really. It because it would have fallen.
Look
in
what
my
a
bag.
change that is. That's kind of crazy when you look at it. So you guys tagged me in this ton saying, Bentist, what the heck is going on over here? This girl got metal mouth looking like Jaws from 007. And this is actually something we don't see all the time, because what you're seeing, every single one of those teeth is what we call an implant. Now, normally we're used to seeing implants that replace one tooth. You know, you lose a tooth, you put in one implant, or sometimes when you lose all the teeth, we do all on 4 or all on 5, where you only have like 4 implants, and then those guys pop in and they keep your mouth sturdy with these new dentures that we have that snap in, which you saw her put into her mouth. But hers, that is like the Lambo of dental care right there, okay? That is an implant in every single area. I can't even count how many implants are there. That's an insane amount of implants, and each one of those are $5,000 to $10,000 each. So homie's rocking at least 100 grand worth of dental, and that's not including the crowns and all that they go on top. Well, I guess that she has dentures, so it would be the dentures that go on top of that too. This is in a very expensive case, but this does a couple things for her. One, it's gonna help protect all that bone, so she will never lose all that bone because she's actually stimulating and using the bone. If you lose teeth and you don't replace it with an implant, that bone goes away, and then the other teeth will eventually fall out. Bad things happen. And also just the sturdiness, and you saw how good it looks when she has her teeth back in and everything, and she can even bite into stuff like her donut or whatever it is, and that's because she's actually got sturdiness there for her teeth. With a normal dental situation, they rock all the time. You have to use glue to stick them in because there's nothing that can actually snap on and hold them to your bone like an implant can. So she's protecting her bone, they look amazing, and she has the sturdiness to probably even eat something like a steak with these things. Either way, more than likely she had something really serious going on with her teeth where she had to lose all of them, and honestly, this is the best way possible that you could do it. It's just for most people, it's financially not a possibility. But don't worry, you still can get multiple implants, and you can do something like this on a budget. Seriously, crazy. Okay, and this next one, this girl got braces, but they ended up in a totally different place than she thought they were supposed to be. Let's check it out.
My gosh, I just got my braces for the first time today, and I'm pretty sure my dentist messed up. This does not look right. Braces are supposed to go on your teeth like this, right? So tell me why mine are all the way up on my gums.
Oh my goodness.
Someone please tell me if this is normal or not.
No, that's not normal. You see, at first when she said, hey, they didn't put the braces in the dead center, they put it up on my gums, I thought for sure she was talking about smile arc placement of braces. Now, this is a different way to put braces on that you usually see. Most people put the braces right in the dead center and go all the way across. People that use a smile arc treatment, they actually do put it up on the top of the teeth there. But when I saw when she opened her mouth, those aren't even braces. This is literally what we call an arch bar. And that tells me that she's probably trolling, because there is no way an orthodontist would put an arch bar on there instead of braces on accident, because, well, it's a pretty gnarly thing. And these arch bars are actually used in jaw surgeries to stabilize the bone in the teeth after your jaw surgery. So did she have braces? Absolutely not. She actually, well, I mean, she could have had braces before or after, but that being said, no, she had jaw surgery. And I should have realized this because her name on social media is Jawbreaker Girl. So basically she trolling y'all, okay? Because those aren't braces, and no orthodontist accidentally put those there. She knew exactly what was going on. Let's see if the people in the comments figured it out. Oh, there we go, right at the very top. I'm pretty sure you're fine, and that looks like an Eric arch bar. Then what are these people like? We got oral surgeons in the comments now. Are you guys really learning that much off of my video? Someone said an orthodontist will typically place braces higher up and closer to your gum to preserve your arch curve, known as arch protection. It makes sure that your upper teeth follow the curve of the bottom. Now that was what we were talking about before with the different arch placement of braces, and that's actually not what's going on here, but that is an interesting thing. You probably saw one of my videos talking about braces up in the gum line, and that is true when they're actually braces. Those aren't braces. Do the Bentist. I'm here, and I'm educating. Either way, her teeth look good. It looks like the surgery was successful. She'll keep those arch bars on there a little bit longer to make sure everything stabilizes, and then she's gonna look just fine. All right, and this next video is how to make toothpaste, but when you don't have any toothpaste around, and it gets pretty wild. Let's check it out.
How to make toothpaste in the wild.
Oh my gosh, oh, that's gnarly. I've actually always wondered what I would do in a scenario that I was camping and I needed toothpaste. Okay, so he's starting a fire. I see that. Oh, a little aloe plant. Okay. Another fire. We've made a fire out of the fire. So is he gonna burn the aloe to make some type of paste?
I'm gonna bite the end.
Okay, so he's making kind of a miswak situation, which it looks like he has made the bristles of a toothbrush there. Good call. Now we're adding the charcoal, which would be used as an abrasive, and then some aloe in there. So he's getting the water on the charcoal. Oh my gosh, my sensitivity is screaming right now. You know, to be fair, it's not a terrible thing if you really needed something in a pinch. And I'm assuming you're only gonna do this every now and then. Okay, you're not even putting the aloe on your teeth, you're just putting it on your face. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a bad idea to do in the wild if you really need to, and it's just something you absolutely have. The problem with charcoal is it's very abrasive, and the reason why we tell people not to use charcoal or something in charcoal toothpaste and all these things when that was a fad is because it was ripping everybody's enamel off. Now, you thought whitening and hydrogen peroxide was the thing hurting your enamel. That's actually not true. It doesn't hurt you at all. But the actual act of rubbing your teeth with basically mild sandpaper, which is what charcoal is, well, yes, it will clean, and yes, it will whiten for a little bit, and then it's going to really rip off so much enamel that your teeth start to get a little yellow and you get a lot of sensitivity in it. So is this healthy? Not really, because it's not my favorite. You would probably just use that little stick, or even your clothes with your fingers would probably be a better option because you'll get it off without wearing away and harming your enamel. But if you really needed to get something super clean, maybe once a month you could do this, I guess. But you don't want to do this too long because it's going to start damaging your teeth rather than helping you. I can tell you one thing though, I can tell you that toothpaste probably tasted like crap. Maybe that's why they have these things called travel toothpastes. You remember when tooth gems were a hit? I sure do, but what if I told you that sometimes getting those tooth gems could mean some really serious damage to your teeth? Check it out. Co-workers are not your friends. Oh, she's like scraping the tooth gems off?
There we go. No. Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Is that the one that you...
Oh no.
Oh my god.
I bet that coworker feels so bad too. So as you can tell, what we got going on here is this girl had some tooth gems on her teeth. And you know, fun fact, as a lot of people do with their tooth gems, they find out that once they fall off, or if they don't fall off, that there's glue stuck to their teeth and they can't get that glue off. Especially if you're trying to do it the more permanent way rather than a temporary one, which I would recommend if you're gonna do tooth gems, do the temporary. So anyways, the day comes that stuff pops off and then they realize they got all this hard glue on there. And what she's using is basically a glue remover that we use in orthodontics and in dentistry to basically kind of scrape glue off if we need to instead of using drills. Now obviously I would just use a drill because I'm a dentist, but this is an employee, an associate or whatever, so she's not going to use a drill. She's trying to use this little thing to pop it off. And unfortunately, as you can see, she popped off a little more than she expected. And that's because more than likely that tooth was already redone. She probably chipped it in the past and she got a filling built up on that tooth. Those small teeth are notorious for having fillings break off. What probably happened was that tooth was a filling and then she put a tooth gem on top of it. And so when she went to go get it off, the pressure of her popping off that actually popped off the filling that was on top of that too. So I guess the lessons we could learn here is probably one, don't have your friends just ripping glue off your teeth, probably having a professional look at it. And two, if you have any restorations at all, like a crown or a piece of glue or composite bonding or anything like that, you probably shouldn't put other glue related things on top of it like a tooth gem. We even have this issue with brackets and braces. You know, we put them on teeth like that and a lot of times they either won't stick or, like I said, you're always worried about popping off the crown or the restoration that was there previously. Let's see what they said in the comments. Someone said, you guys, it's a composite tooth. See, he called it out. Exactly, that's exactly what we call it, a composite. It was a composite build-up tooth and unfortunately broke off at the tooth. Why is everybody so violent these days? Someone said literally no fades were caught. She did that to you on purpose. Sue her and we just witnessed crime. It's not that serious. She just accidentally broke off her filling. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but I mean, let's not go catching fades out here. She said, I knew it was gonna happen. Okay, then why did you do it? See, and it's actually not that serious. She literally works in a dental office, so she's probably just gonna get it built back up. Or technically, if she can find the filling that broke off, they can actually use that and glue it back on. And then it would be like nothing ever happened. Now, if she didn't work in a dental office and she was doing it at home, yeah, that'd probably be a problem because you have to go to the dentist, you gotta pay money to get that thing fixed. And that costs some money sometimes to get stuff fixed like that. Either way, she's gonna be just fine. I hate having sensitive teeth. What's a strawberry have to do with sensitive teeth? The slow-mo reaction. So the real question here is what causes sensitivity, Bentist, and how many different ways can it happen? And why the heck is even biting into a strawberry causing this girl's sensitivity? Let's answer all of them. So really there is two ways that can cause sensitivity. One has to do with your enamel and the other one has to do with your gum tissue. I know it's kind of weird. Your gums cause sensitivity. Well, kind of. Let's talk about it. So the first one is your enamel. You see your enamel is like a hard outer shell. It protects the inside of your tooth, the dentin, the nerve, the blood vessels, everything else. And so in two different ways, if you wear down that enamel over time by brushing or doing something like that, that can cause sensitivity because when you get into the dentin side and your enamel layer weakens, it's easier to penetrate with cold air, things like that, to your nerve. Another thing we see is when you grind your teeth. And that's more than likely what's happening here, because those are normally people that bite into things and get sensitivity, is because they've worn down the edges of their teeth so much from grinding that now they have sensitivity on the edges of your teeth. And that's actually something that I've got. Now, the last thing with enamel is if you use something like whitening strips. You see, we have all these little tiny holes in our teeth, and when you use whitening strips, it dissolves all those little organic plugs that cause those holes to be closed. And so when you do that, yes, you can get whitening into the teeth and it whitens really good, but it also allows air and water to pass through and actually hit your nerve, causing it to be sensitive. Now, with whitening and stuff like that, it goes away after a couple days, but when you really wear down your enamel, that can last a really long time. And the other way is actually your gum tissue. And it's not necessarily your gum tissue, but what it covers. So if you don't take care of your teeth, you don't floss very good, and you let your gums get all puffy and red, your bone will actually dissolve and your gums will actually recede back with it. And when your gums recede back, what is showing is your roots. The roots of your teeth start to show. And we know how we talked about those little holes in the enamel? Well, those are plugged with organic matter and they're much smaller. The holes in your roots are way bigger and they don't really get filled up with organic plugs. So anytime you have any root showing at all because of bone loss or gum loss or whatever it is, you're gonna have hypersensitivity. Now, you're not gonna have it when you bite into something like a strawberry, but you will have it if you're drinking something cold, or if you're brushing your teeth, even you may get a little bit of sensitivity down there, or even anything like that will really cause some zingers to pop through your mouth. So now that you know what causes sensitivity, let's actually see what the people in the comments had to say. Someone said, I can't even breathe through my mouth sometimes. Now that's a sign of severe sensitivity. Now, one thing I wanna watch out for is, are you using charcoal toothpaste? Are you using any highly abrasive whitening toothpaste? Because those can, one, keep those organic plugs uncovered, and two, really rip down your enamel so you have permanent sensitivity all over your teeth, which is really gnarly. Someone said, you're just overreacting. You mean my teeth are overreacting? And that's funny because that's actually kind of what they're doing. They are overreacting to stimulus, aka cold and water and all. So what can you do about it? Well, I would actually recommend something like our 10% nano-hydroxyapatite toothpaste. And see, what that does is your teeth are made out of hydroxyapatite. So if you use nano-hydroxyapatite, it actually goes in and helps rebuild some of that enamel, as well as plug some of those holes to stop the sensitive stuff from getting to the nerves. And if you have roots showing, our toothpaste isn't really gonna help you in that way. So then what you could really do for that is you can use this to kind of help plug up some of the holes on there, but really you're probably gonna need like a gum graft or a bone graft or something like that to recover up all those root areas, basically stopping all that sensitivity. But for the most part, highly recommend our toothpaste. If you haven't tried it or not, you can get it at somethingnicecompany.com, and it's really awesome. And you will watch that sensitivity go down really quickly. You think you can hurt me? I clip off my inflamed taste buds with special taste bud cutters? Oh, you are hurt. Oh my gosh, there she goes. Right there, that's gnarly. That's not safe. First off, did you sterilize those clippers before you? I mean, did you like heated them up, or you got some alcohol wobs on there or something like that? But for real though, you guys tagged me in this one saying, Bentist, I didn't even know that you could get inflamed taste buds. What's that about? Well, let me tell you something. If you've never had an inflamed taste bud, they're very painful. Like, they're really painful, actually. They're super annoying too. So what is it from? Well, basically we have all these little papilla all over our teeth, and sometimes one gets swollen, it's inflamed, and basically it's kind of like a pimple or something, you know, it's this big raised, now it's sensitive, but it's just right there on their tongue, and normally we find it on the tip of the tongue. Now the problem is this can happen from a multitude of different reasons. It can happen from dry mouth, it can happen from having, you know, not brushing as good, it can happen from eating spicy things, like you could be allergic to some things, it could be medication related, it could be dry mouth related, and you could have just bit your tongue or something like that, and that causes it to inflame. So there's a multitude of reasons why you could be getting them. If you're getting them quite often, it's probably because you're allergic to something, or you're eating a lot of spicy foods and things like that, which is causing those taste buds to inflame. Now, normally they will go away on their own, so you don't have to necessarily go clipping them off, but I guess technically if she's not getting hurt by this and she feels fine with it, I mean, I don't recommend it because it could get infected and things like that, but your tongue does heal really quickly. So, I mean, it's gonna heal up like within probably a couple hours or a day, and then she won't even know any different. So maybe if that's what works for her, that works for her. Let's see what the comments had to say. Someone said, I sit there and bite it till I get it off or it hurts. What's up with everybody biting off their stuff these days? I like all the faces that you're joking, and then the guy, and then the Barbie doll. But you know what's more surprising is all the people in the comments saying that they do it too. She's like, I'm not the only one. We have a whole army out there of everybody biting off their taste buds. I had no idea. Now, but for real though, probably don't do that. I mean, if you really want to bite it off, that's fine. I probably wouldn't go with the nail clipper route because you don't know if it's got fungus or anything from your nails or whatever. That could cause another infection, probably a problem. So if you want to chop them off with your teeth, teeth, you probably could get away with it. Just let's not go with slicing and dicing with random tools that you've got in your bathroom, please. And like I said, watch out for spicy foods or medications or something like that if you're seeing this reoccur. Hope that helps. Okay, there's one thing about trying to get white teeth, but what about black teeth? You ever seen that happen before? Let's check it out. Oh. The things you guys tag me. What the heck? He's just really just spray painting his mouth black, huh? All right, that's gnarly. Okay, you know, they always talk about getting white teeth, but you know, maybe the new trend is black teeth now. But for real though, could you really actually do this? Well, technically, they do have tooth polishes out there that you could get it to be black, and they probably have black in there. In fact, I want to say that we had a girl that was not too recent paint hers red. So I don't think black could definitely be an option. It would look pretty gnarly, especially if you were in a band or something and you had like all black teeth and stuff. That would be pretty gnarly. But I think it's pretty easy to say, no, child, you should not be doing this. You should not be grabbing a thing of what we are assuming is black spray paint and spraying it all into your mouth, because, well, that's poison. And we don't believe in that over here, do we? No, we like to brush and floss. We don't like to spray ourselves in the mouth with black spray paint. But surely the people in the comments have my back on this one, right? Surely. Someone said, yeah, school doesn't seem that bad anymore. Oh no, trust me, there were weird people like this in my school for sure, 100%. Oh my gosh, the witness me from Mad Max. It's so true though. See, there we go. I like the shaming in here. We gotta start shaming people that do dumb stuff like this. See that guy? Don't be like that guy. And literally people calling him doo-doo brain over here. Some people are just, I mean, don't be too mean to him, okay? He did just spray himself in the mouth with black spray paint. But no, I think the answer is no, don't do this. That's a pretty easy one, guys. You don't need to keep tagging me in all these weird videos. I've seen enough. Speaking of weird videos, you guys keep surprising me with all of these weird videos. I'm telling you, I don't know what you guys are on and where you guys are finding these videos, but you need to stop tagging me. Just check it out. You guys start. Guys, I literally just told you guys to stop tagging me in crazy videos. Why are you guys tagging me in this video? This literally makes no sense. But you know what? While we're here, we might as well just pause it and see what we've got going on dentally, because I paused it right here and we can actually see what type of teeth this guy's and how I would fix it as an orthodontist. So we might as well make something good out of this, make some lemonade out of lemons, if you know what I'm saying. So obviously, if we pause it right here, you can see, yes, this man does have crazy eyes, 100%, but he does also have something else that we see, and that is some crowded teeth. In fact, you can see all of these teeth are blocked out on the top and bottom. Another thing you can see is that his lips go much wider than the way his arches are, which tells me he has very narrow arches. So we need to expand that out. One of the reasons why he doesn't have enough room for his teeth is because his arches are too narrow. So what we need to do is we need to get him in some braces. Then where these teeth are blocked out, we're gonna put these things called open coil springs. And we're gonna start opening up the space for those blocked out teeth. At the same time, the Damon brackets and wires we're gonna be using are gonna be expanding those arches, making them wider and wider to try and give him a wider smile, but also give us more room to get those teeth in. Now we're gonna straighten everything out. But you see, teeth, when they're crowded, when they do this, they end up flaring outward sometimes. So we're gonna get everything straight, everything aligned, and see how flared out his teeth are. If they are flared, we're gonna have to do what's called IPR, our interproximal reduction, which is where we polish between the teeth. What that does is it creates these tiny little gaps so that we can close up those gaps, and then we can do it again, and we can upright those teeth. So if you ever like went through braces and had flaring, this is what your orthodontist should have done to correct it. So basically, it should take about 18 to 24 months, open up the spaces, unravel everything, and then deflare everything only if needed. And he'll have an awesome smile and an expanded smile that gives him that really nice Hollywood smile. Now, will it fix the mental instability? Probably not, but at least he'll have a nice smile. Hope that helps. Now, we saw the jaw surgery one earlier in this, but this is what it looks like right after a jaw surgery. And if you've never seen somebody right after a jaw surgery, trust me, it's wild. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, I just want to pause it real quick. Holy moly, this girl just had jaw surgery, probably double jaw surgery by the looks at it. It looks like she's wired shut a little bit there and she's got some stuff there. But some of the things that you're gonna see directly after jaw surgery is the massive swelling of the face because, well, you just had some severe trauma go on to your body. You literally had your skull literally broken apart and then stitched back together. It's pretty gnarly. And so you're gonna have a lot of this massiveness that you've got there, a lot of the swollen lips, you'll see the swollen cheeks, the swollen face, all of that type of stuff. stuff. I'm gonna start this back up and see kind of what she's got going on. So obviously she's brushing really light because she's like, I don't know what the heck just happened. She's probably in pain. Her whole entire mouth, I mean, look how big the lips are, like holy moly. Oh yeah, and you can actually see right here on the cheek, that's an entry point from one of the jaw surgeries there. So she actually went through, and that's where they kind of like cut that jaw in half and everything. Oh my gosh. The other thing I saw is that she catch it really quick there. She shot a little syringe in there, and that's actually really common. So they use a special chlorhexidine rinse or whatever, and they'll actually put it in this little syringe and they'll shoot it back behind there so that they can get behind there and kind of swish around. Not really, but yeah, they'll use that as well as a little bit of light brushing, but they can't open their mouth, so they really can't go. So this is as good as it's gonna get for a while. But yeah, recouping from jaw surgeries are super wild. Let's see what the people in the comments had to say. Someone said, I would feel like I can't breathe. I don't know, and that's actually a really common occurrence we see in people that are wired shut like this, especially with all the swelling. I mean, it gets hard to breathe out of your nose, and you can't really breathe out of your mouth, so it is a big issue. I mean, we do really have a lot of issues with that. A lot of people become mouth breathers and things like that during that, and just really try and make the most of it until they can get out of this scenario. And speaking of something similar, someone said, what happens if you can't breathe out of your nose? And that's what I was saying. I mean, you can actually get clogged up here. We'll give you some like Sudafed or something to unclog your nose and stuff, but you just have to breathe through your mouth. You have to do the best that you can. You still can kind of breathe, and the air does flow in and out between the teeth, but yeah, it's not pleasant at all. Someone said, I'm so scared. I'm getting jaw surgery and I haven't been mentally and financially preparing for years. I know it's just bone, but it's scary that it can be cut out and repaired. And I totally understand, man. When you think about it, hey, I'm gonna break these 2 jaws off your face, and then I'm going to screw them down with metal plates and stuff. I could see how it would be pretty scary. But that being said, we've advanced a really long way. We use 3D printed guides now, all these really cool ways to basically get you the perfect surgery. And so it's a lot easier than it used to be, and recovery is a lot quicker too. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, especially if you have something really big going on. Your life will completely change after your surgery, and you will become a completely different person for the better. So I definitely highly recommend it if you need it. Regardless though, I wish her the best, and I hope her recovery goes amazing and she really enjoys her new smile. All right, struggling to lose weight, here is a deal. Slimming wire. Oh, I've actually heard of slimming wires, but I haven't seen. Okay, there we are doing wiring your jaw shut. What the heck is going on here? Oh my gosh. So here's the backstory. I've been seeing that you guys have been tagging me and commenting about slimming wires, and I didn't know what they were until you tagged me in this video. And now that I'm watching it, it all starting to make sense. So basically what they're doing is they're DIY putting on some braces. I don't think this is from an orthodontist or a dentist. It's a little concerning, but regardless, but what they're doing, they're putting some braces back here, and then they're just wiring your jaw shut. And so, well, if you can't open your mouth, you can't eat, and henceforth you're going to lose weight. Now, we do this currently in basically when you have jaw surgeries. When you have jaw surgery, we wire your jaw shut on purpose because we want your jaws to reform the bone after we've moved them around the jaw surgery, and we can't have you moving your teeth around like that. But to lose weight, I've never seen that before. Now, would this work? Yes, it probably would. I think there are better options. You know, you could just diet, exercise, and also even easier. It's so easy to lose weight nowadays with Ozempic and retatrutide and tirzepatide, the GLPs. So there's not really a need for this, to be honest. But if it's not being done by an orthodontist or dentist, that has another layer of concern. I don't know. What are you guys saying in the comments about this? It's pretty wild. Someone said, what will happen if you vomit? That's a good question, because we have the same thing that happens in oral surgery, and the answer is, well, it just kind of goes everywhere. And we tell you to avoid that, because a lot of times it goes through the teeth and around, and even through your nose sometimes. So just try and avoid that if you're gonna do this. Yeah, that would be good. And someone else said, I would feel trapped in my own body. And that's right, my anxiety girlies out there. Yeah, you would probably definitely feel like if you need to breathe or something like, but yeah, I don't know how well being trapped. This is kind of like more like a medieval torture device than a medical device, to be honest. And someone said slimming wires, no way, and intermittent fasting and eating healthy. And I tend to just kind of agree here. I think it would be easier just to go on a diet, eat a little bit healthy, work out, and probably use something like a GLP-1. It makes you lose fat with barely doing anything these days. I mean, how much easier could it get? And you don't have to wire your entire face shut. But I don't know, let me know down below if you would do this, and if I should start offering it in my orthodontic practices. Fun fact, I won't be doing that. As you guys know, a lot of people get them turkey teeth and them crazy veneers, but this guy took it to a whole nother level and said this is exactly what it's like when you have that one guy that gets the veneers. Let's check it out.
Why are you smiling?
Are you guys tagging me?
I'm not. I love how natural
this is
they
the
are.
guy that gets those veneers, the turkey
all
teeth.
The girls. Oh, I can't wait. Did you see I got my teeth done? What do you think of this girl? Yeah, she's alright. Not great teeth though. You've got to be joking me. What? I can't believe she's gone. Oh, I've got so nice teeth. Yeah? Oh, God, I need sunglasses with you now. Silly sausages. See, I can speak normally. Wow,
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna pause it there for now. But the fun fact is, yes, I do see this a lot of the times, and that's because of a few reasons. One, a lot of you guys don't understand the amount of confidence boosting you get when you change your teeth, because it's one of the most important things. It's actually the first thing that people notice when they see you is actually your teeth. It's not your eyes, it's not your hairs, it's whatever, it's your teeth. And so a lot of people are regressively hiding. They got nasty teeth or whatever, they're closing their mouth, they're more closed off, they don't want to smile in pictures, and then they get something like braces, or they get veneers, or unfortunately sometimes they go and get the crazy turkey teeth that look all nasty. But regardless, in their head they think they look amazing, and a lot of the times if they're doing it the correct way, they do look amazing, and that changes their entire life forever. They're more confident, they're getting a girlfriend, boyfriend, they're going on dates, they're going and smiling in pictures. It's really, really awesome, and one of my favorite things about being a dentist. Now obviously I don't recommend the turkey teeth, because kind of like this guy's portraying here, you know, they're talking about like he can't speak, it looks crazy, it's like blinding you in your face, and that's more of the turkey teeth or the going outside of the US, you know, travel dentistry stuff that you can run into sometimes, because they just make these big blocky crowns that just kind of look like one piece of giant, you know, toilet bowl white stuff, and that doesn't look good. So if you're gonna do something like this, make sure you talk to a dental professional that's trained and actually knows what they're doing, and help them determine between, do you need braces, do you need some light composite veneers over the top, maybe just a tiny bit of veneering on the front, definitely no full crowns across the entire mouth, please. Let's see what the comments have to say. Oh my gosh, we got the 3 photos there. We got the Ross, and we even knocked All Might down there. Shout out to my anime fans. But it does kind of look like that. Sometimes if they're really bad, it looks like you just got straight piano keys across your mouth. It's pretty bad sometimes. And I don't know why, but people keep commenting, Zach from Love Island, is that you? I don't even know who Zach from Love Island is. Let's look it up. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at it, I don't really notice anything crazy or off, honestly. So maybe you could just have to let me know down in the comments what the heck is going on with that one. Regardless, like I said, talk to a dental professional and get your teeth right, because it really does change your life forever, no matter what way you do it. All right, you discover you can wiggle your teeth. I totally get this, because I remember when I was younger, I found out for the first time, I was like, wow, it is normal. I actually had this weird thing where I loved to pull my own teeth out. And I think I had my baby teeth out like 3 years earlier than I was supposed to, because I love to wiggle them so much. But you are very correct. Your teeth do have a little bit of give to them. And what if I told you that that's actually a body function to protect your teeth? That's right, because your teeth, a lot of people think they're just fused into your bone, and that's actually not the case. They're actually sitting in there almost like the same way a trampoline sits on the trampoline outer metal edge. That's right, it's very similar to that. And so instead of the tooth being fused into the bone, it's actually, there's a pocket there inside the bone, and your tooth sits inside the pocket, and all these little bungee cords called PDL fibers hold that tooth basically to the bone. And yes, those PDL fibers are slightly bouncy, and so when you bite and you hit on your tooth, they bounce up and down in that socket very, very slightly. Now this allows you to have what we call proprioception, and so proprioception means that you can kind of feel when you push on your teeth, and you know if you're biting too hard on something. If you've ever bit on something really, really hard, like some gristle inside of a hamburger or something, you bite down and you go, "Argh!" and then your body kind of has that reaction to open up really bad. That's that proprioception in action. And if it was fused directly into the bone, you wouldn't have that. It's actually how teeth move and braces works, because if you pull, it will actually loosen one of the ligaments, and that causes bone to dissolve to make them straight again. And the one that's being pulled on the other side actually makes your teeth grow bone, and that's how braces work. You actually move your teeth through the bone using those same PDL fibers. But because you have this little periodontal pocket or whatever between your teeth, you do have a little bit of wiggle you can do on your teeth. That being said, I wouldn't wiggle too much, because you can wiggle too much and cause some bone loss around there if you're really pushing on it and doing it all the time. Let's see what the comments had to say. Someone said, oh, thank goodness this is normal for others. I've been terrified. And that's actually a fun fact, because a lot of people get scared because they feel like their teeth is loose. And fun fact, your teeth move all the time. So if you're hitting really hard on, say, your tooth or something like this, or your bite is out of the way, your teeth will actually shift and move out of the way of that. And that can cause a little bit of looseness in your tooth. But don't worry, after it gets out of the way, it normally instantly solidifies back up. And that's exactly why you wear a retainer for 3 months after braces, to hold those teeth steady so that the bone can basically re-sturdy around the teeth. And someone says, oh, so I'm the only one who can't do this. And it's also normal to not have your teeth be super wiggly. That just means that your bone is really, really sturdy around that tooth and you don't have as much movement. If somebody's clenching, grinding, or maybe they're hitting on their teeth, they're gonna have a little more wiggle to their tooth because, well, the bone is not super sturdy in that area because it's been moving due to those PDL fibers. And someone says, mainly happens when I just woke up. And that's actually another good sign, because that means you're probably clenching at night or grinding or hitting, and that's causing a tooth to get hit and move a little bit, and that's causing it to feel a little more looser because those PDL fibers are dissolving and moving the bone around. Either way, it's normal unless it's hypermobile. That's a sign of really severe bone loss. That's not good. But for the most part, a light wiggle is completely normal. Still, bodies are so weird. This next person decided they wanted to whiten your teeth, but they had a secret that nobody else knew about, and it's gonna whiten your teeth super easy and super great. Well, at least that's what they think. Let's check it out. Okay, you guys tagged me in this, said this girl has the secret to whitening, and this is her idea, her hack. And basically what she's doing there is using a nail light, and it's gonna magically whiten her teeth. And so everybody commented me on there like, Bentist, does this work? I see all these teeth whitening lights, so this obviously has to work. And well, fun fact, this is the same exact light that you would see in dental situations. It's a UV light, and it's used to basically cure the gel on your nail or the composite on your tooth, or in very, very high dental settings, some hydrogen peroxide, it can boost the whitening experience, or at least that's what they say. Now, the places that use this in a dental setting have a very, very high powered version of this light. And also they use a very, very high concentration of whitening material. And even though there is some evidence that show that it can enhance the amount of whitening at these very high levels, at levels like this, it's just not gonna do anything. It's particularly those funny little LED lights that are just blue that people put in their mouth that pretend they do something. Yeah, it just doesn't. And so unfortunately, I do have to tell you that no, this is not going to whiten your teeth, because the whole purpose of it is the hydrogen peroxide that's whitening your teeth. It's not the light. If anything, the light could maybe up it a 1 or 2% more effective, but even then it's not enough for you to ever notice it. So that's why I tell you guys, never buy the teeth whitening lights or anything like that. Crazy, because it's kind of just a scam and they charge you a ton. Just get some hydrogen peroxide whitening strips. Ours are 10% hydrogen peroxide and they work really good, but you can go to Dollar Tree and get some hydrogen peroxide strips too. Definitely don't go throwing UVC lights around like that too, because they can cause cancer as well, skin cancer. So putting this all over your face, it's not really good. In fact, if I remember right, there was some issues of people doing the gel and getting the UVC light causing some skin cancer on the hands. So definitely be careful with this stuff and don't go putting it all over your face. In other words, it does not work. Let's see what the comments have to say. Oh my gosh, people burning us in the comments like, are you American by chance? Guys, we're not all that dumb, I promise. Someone else said that's dangerous, and that's actually true. Like I said, you know, you can actually get skin cancer from throwing UV all over your light like this. So probably not the smartest to do that on your face. It's barely okay for your hands. Someone said top 10 things you should not be putting near your face. Agreed. And someone said, can't you get a tan from that? That's a good question. I don't really know. I know they do use some UV light bulbs for tanning. I don't know if they use the same ones for dental and this. All I know is you should not look in the light and you should not put it on your skin if possible. All right, I've had these bumps for way too long. What bumps are you talking about? Oh, sawtooth over there. I know exactly what those are. Those are called mamelons. No, not mammals. No, not woolly mammoths. Those are called mamelons. And she is actually right. She commented, apparently they go away the older you get, but it's been a while. And that's actually true. These are developmental bumps on somebody's teeth. So if you actually pause it there when she shows you, you can see it's almost like a saw ridge effect. And I bet you there's a lot of you looking at your teeth and you have these exact same things on your teeth. These are just basically the ends of your natural tooth, and they're made to actually be worn away as you get older from grinding and eating and things like that. You actually wear them away. It's kind of like your training wheels for your teeth almost. But Bentist, how does she still have them if they're supposed to be worn away? And well, normally it's because of a bite issue. Because on your front teeth, you're supposed to be able to grind them and move them around. But if you have a big underbite or a big overbite, you don't have room and they never really touch. And so if they never touch, they don't ever grind down, and you've got them. We actually see these a lot in orthodontics and braces, because when we get done, we do what's called Hollywood, where we'll polish and we'll make everything perfect. And a lot of the times we'll wear these off on purpose, just so people don't have the sawtooth look, because they want those nice flat teeth that are perfect. But for my people out there that have these, you're either very young or you're somebody who just doesn't hit on those teeth and they've never worn away. Let's see if the people in the comments figured it out for themselves. Someone said, I just filed mine with a nail file. Probably don't do that. It's not good to just go ripping off your own tooth enamel anytime you want. Technically, it works kind of the same because your teeth are basically doing exactly that, but just don't do that. Someone said, it's like your teeth have teeth. And that's actually kind of funny, because it really is kind of what it is, because they're kind of like developmental ridges. So it is kind of like your teeth have teeth in a way. That's a weird way to think about it though. Someone said, that's actually impressive, really. It means you aren't really rough on your teeth, which is kind of the purpose of what I'm saying. It's like, if you're not grinding, or if you're not moving, or if your bite is not super tight in the front, yeah, it means that you're probably not gonna be rough on your teeth. In fact, sometimes we even leave people with a little bit of an overbite or overjet, some space between their teeth on purpose, just so they don't wear down their teeth as fast. Or you could be like me, where you grind and you've ground all your teeth flat over the years because you're just grinding at night. Great. Regardless, it's completely normal, and fun fact, your teeth are probably healthier because of it. So that's nice. In this next one, we've got a crazy dental restoration, complete and total from start to finish. Trust me, it's pretty wild. I think it'd be best if we just all saw it in person together. You'll understand what I'm talking about. All right, you guys tagged me in this and said this was a crazy transformation. So first, they did have to do some Invisalign and then did a little bit of whitening. Oh my gosh, he's going right in there. I'm gonna pause it real quick right here. What those are, those giant holes that he just basically put on there, is this guy had cavities, okay? And cavities really commonly are between the teeth, because guess what? You brush and you clean the front and back, but you don't floss. And what you don't floss, you don't see, and then in between your teeth, you get these big cavities. And so a lot of people don't realize that a small cavity can actually spread, and you can see how big those little circles are removed from his teeth. And that's basically how much those cavities can spread without you even knowing it, weakening the tooth. So basically right now, he's starting to basically clean up and get rid of all these cavities, which is a lot there. He's gonna etch, and then we're going to fill these up with probably some tooth colored composite, is my guess. He like curing, he's putting his stuff on there. Great, now he's gonna be filling it with some composite material. Yep, there it is. And he's gonna have to do that individually and build up every single one of these teeth. It takes a long time, and you have to be pretty skilled to do this. So shout out to Dr. Kiki Norman, because it looks like he's doing a pretty good job here getting these guys shaped back. I don't know if you remember what these looked like in the beginning, but they were pretty gnarly. So it's got some sanding discs to refine. They're flossing, they're getting everything done there. Actually, that's a cool one. You can actually see these, almost it looks like he just took like a little pencil and he did that. And that's because, well, your teeth are naturally not just like flat all the way across. They do have like a flat spot, and then they kind of curve in between each tooth. And so what he's doing is he's trying to give himself an area to kind of polish those teeth down to give them the right shape back. So he's actually doing a lot of really cool stuff, doing some polishing there. And then hopefully, okay, so the before, very yellow. He's got some grinding wear on all these teeth. He's got the cavities you can't even see, but they're all up in there. You saw that. And then let's see the after. Boom! He's got an increase in shades of whitening there. He did a really good job matching everything, making it look very natural, giving him back all the embrasures and everything else. Good job, and man, what a transformation. Holy moly, left side before and after, right side before and after. Dang. And I will say that a lot of that wear was probably because of his jaw issue, so I'm glad that I saw that he did Invisalign before to hopefully correct this jaw position, because if he just does the veneer type stuff, or composite veneers is what that would be called, he would just grind them all away again if he did not fix the bite issues with the Invisalign first. So good on him. Let's go to the comments. He said, do they have the same strength of normal teeth? And fun fact, composite actually does pretty well with wear. In fact, I had some teeth down here where I got hit when I was during basketball, and I wore away my enamel faster than my composite did. So actually sometimes it works better than normal teeth as far as wear. Ooh, interesting. We had an orthodontics chime in there. So it's strictly from an orthodontic standpoint. Why do the Invisalign at all if the old restorations were that many large? I would think doing veneer/crowns from canine to canine would work better. And then he responded back, we only did Invisalign for the lower teeth whitening and replacement of composites were done for the upper teeth. Interesting. So he probably had some crowding on the lower teeth. They did some Invisalign there and got them out of the way from jamming into the upper teeth. And then they did no Invisalign on the upper teeth. That's very interesting. And someone unfortunately said, it looks so beautiful, but I have no courage to do this with my teeth. And that happens a lot. I mean, people have a lot of dental anxieties and fears. And obviously when you see that, you know, drilling way into the teeth and taking that out, I can see how you get scared. But here's the problem. If you just leave it and let that cavity get bigger, it's gonna go into the middle of the tooth, it's gonna go in the nerve, you're gonna need a root canal, you're gonna need a crown, and then eventually you're gonna lose the teeth completely. So sometimes you just gotta do it and just be an adult and go get it done. Regardless, great transformation, didn't mind it at all. Now in this next video is a very questionable life hack about what you should do if you don't have a toothbrush. Let's check it out. Okay, life hack, if you don't have a toothbrush, you can make one by putting spaghetti into a hot dog. What the gross the heck is you guys doing these days? You know, I swear, each week I get tagged in the craziest videos, and you guys never cease to get weirder and weirder as time goes. I don't know if that's a sign of lowering intelligence or if we're getting more creative. I'm hoping it's the more creative. But no, obviously a hot dog and spaghetti does not work as an extra toothbrush. But I will give you another life hack that actually does work. You see, the purpose of a toothbrush is funny. A lot of people think it's the toothpaste and all that. And while fluoride or nanohydroxyapatite can help with certain things, the purpose of a toothbrush is actually just the mechanical act of removing the gunk and plaque off your teeth. And so if you find yourself without a toothbrush or a miswalk or something like that that you've got, then there is one really good option to clean your teeth that you have on you all the time. And that's actually your clothes. Yeah, it's your clothes. Because if you're in the wilderness or you're in somewhere lost and you just can't find a way to get that, your finger and you know, your clothes like this is great, because guess what? You can go in there and you can start going around in town, and obviously I'm not going to take my shirt off and do anything crazy like that, but you can just take your shirt and really just scrub with your shirt and get most of the plaque and gunk off. Now you still need to floss or get, you know, some flossing done eventually, but in a pinch, this is a really good way to just get all this gunk off of your teeth, because once again, all you're doing is just mechanically removing the gunk off your teeth, and that's without the hot dog and the spaghetti, because that would be really sharp. It'd probably rip your gums apart. And then you're just getting hot dog juice on. It's just not, it doesn't sound like a good idea. But you know, 603,000 of you guys liked this video and 24,000 of you saved it. So I really hope that 24,000 of you are not gonna be saving this for an emergency situation. Oh my gosh, the comments literally, Sonic, literally said, if you use a corn dog, you get a little handle so you can have more control over your brushing. Oh my gosh, Sonic, you're the worst. But I love you because you're from Oklahoma, I'm from Oklahoma. Shout me out, give me a Sonic sponsorship. I'll do that, I'll eat some free Sonic. Seriously though, the cherry limeades, they slap. Sonic. Someone said y'all are just now realizing this? Oh my gosh. You guys are such trolls these days. You just troll all over the internet these days, aren't you? And somebody actually said the quiet part out loud. They said, I can't imagine a situation where I have access to spaghetti and a hot dog and toothpaste, but not a toothbrush. I didn't even think about that, weirdly enough. I was so turned off by the fact he was brushing his teeth with a spaghetti hot dog that I didn't even think to realize, why do you have that in an emergency situation instead of a toothbrush? But I think really in the end, I can only really sum up this video with one word, and that's concern. Now in this next one, you guys think you get nervous and weirded out when you go into your dental visit? Well, what about the dentist? You probably never thought about our side of the things. So just check out this video. Sometimes patients just need a little reminder. Oh my gosh, this is so true. Please close your eyes. Dude, people don't ever think about this at all, unfortunately. But yes, you guys get nervous and kind of anxietied out about your dental appointment, but you don't ever think about us as dentists or hygienists out here. You guys are weird, man. You do some weird stuff. Some of the weird ones that I've seen is that, you know, when I put my fingers in your mouth, you bite on them. Or sometimes I've had somebody suck on my fingers once. That was really weird. And this happens a lot too. For some reason, you guys have nothing. I mean, I understand it. You got nothing to your pin down here. And so like, you're like, you can only look around the place for so long until you decide to get a peek at us, the doctor. They're like, is he good? What's he looking at? Is he making sure that he's actually looking at my face when he's working on me? And yes, that's what we stare down into right into your eyes, looking directly up at us, and you just stop. You're creeping us out at this point. How am I supposed to do a filling at a millimeter accuracy when I got you staring into my soul? So this hits home a lot more than you think. Someone said in the comments, I thought it was rude if I closed my eyes. No, we want you to close them. We would actually rather put a whole blindfold on your face, so we didn't even have to have the option of accidentally crossing glances with you. Because you know how awkward it is when you're going down the street and you accidentally lock eyes with somebody and you're like, oh, well it's the same feeling. You just stare. You don't stop staring. And my hands are in your mouth. It's weird. Someone said, no, I'm gonna stare into your soul. Yes, that's what it feels like. And someone said, I usually stare at the lamp until I'm blinded. And that was me as a kid. I was like, I didn't want to look into their eyes. I'd be like, I don't know what to look at. And yes, that light is very bright. And please don't look into that light. You will blind yourself. But it's probably better than you staring into the dentist or hygienist eyes. Oh my gosh. Okay, one more. Someone said, I stare because I want them to be uncomfortable just like me. You know, I never thought about it that way. Maybe you guys are justified. In this video, we have a nice mother and daughter who maybe went a little bit too far with their braces life hacks and maybe causing more trouble than good. Let's check it out. All right, you guys tagged me in this video and said this was insane.
If your kids have braces, always remember that if they have a cleaning appointment coming up, there's no point of doing the adjustment first. I took the kids last week for their adjustment, and then I got a message that they have a cleaning appointment today. So now, thankfully, I know how to remove the wires.
Oh, okay, first off, I get it. Trust me, because this happens all the time. They go get their braces adjustments and then they get a thing for a cleaning. They're like, they gotta go to the cleaning, and guess what? The dentist says, I don't wanna clean with your wires in. And so now you gotta go back to the braces person to get the wires out again, to do all this. I get it. Okay, so this is one first pro tip for my families out there with braces is make sure you're scheduling your cleanings with the braces at the same time. That would be really good. That way you can go to the orthodontist, get the wires out, go get your cleaning, and then come back to the orthodontist right after the cleaning and get your wires changed to, you know, your new wire or whatever thing. Maximize your resources, because I get it. If you go do all that type of stuff and then, you know, you got to go back there, it's like you're wasting appointments, all that type of stuff. So definitely, if you can, try and match those two things up together. Now, the last part concerns me though, because I believe she said, luckily I know how to rip the wires out of my kid's face without the orthodontist. And that's a problem. But we're gonna go ahead and watch here, continue watching, and hopefully nothing crazy happens.
Evelyn apparently knows how to remove them, so we'll see. She learned from that girl that she learned from that girl that changes her rubber bands so many times.
Yeah, no, apparently my kid knows what she's doing. She found some TikTok girl who takes hers off, so obviously that's good enough for me as the adult in the area. Don't do this, guys. This is bad, obviously, but I'm assuming she's just gonna go in and she's gonna take off her O ties. Yeah, let's see.
So it's affecting her roots?
She said even though it's affecting her roots? Oh my gosh, okay. Another sign you probably shouldn't do that.
Going to ortho now?
Yep.
Oh my god.
You know, I respect it. That she's, you know, she's interested in ortho. She's interested in kind of doing some changing of stuff there. That's a power chain. Oh my gosh. Okay, so... Okay, first off, I'm gonna stop it right here because I think I've seen enough. Don't do this. And parents, don't let your kids do this. Just because they saw somebody on a TikTok doing it doesn't mean you should just let your kid go willy-nilly and do whatever you want just because you don't want to go back to the orthodontist. And there's a couple reasons why. One, you said that she's got issues with her roots. There's a reason why we do things particularly you guys don't understand. If you have root issues, if you have problems, we're trying to move slow, we're trying to do all these things. One, there's things that you might not know that's going on in your kid's teeth. Two, she's got a power chain. That's actually a prescription device. Once she gets that off, she can't put something back on, okay? What are you gonna do once you get your cleaning? The dentists don't like putting wires back in. And so you gotta go back to your orthodontist anyways, and we're gonna be like, well, why did you rip everything out? You could have just came here and we could have nicely done this. And then the last reason is a lot of times we have certain wires and certain things in place. We've got bends in place. We've got all these things particularly to that wire specifically as it is. And you need specific tools to put that wire back into your braces exactly the way it was supposed to be. And if it's flipped or if it's upside down or if it's anything, it can cause a lot of issues. So can she take the colors off? Yes, she can definitely take colors off really easily, but she can't put them back on. She can't take her wires in. She can't put her wires back in easily or efficiently or the way it's supposed to. So you're really just wasting your time and potentially harming this kid's case. She could break brackets. She could put the wires in wrong. You could mess something up. You could break something. She could poke herself with the freaking instrument in the gums and start bleeding everywhere. It's a mess. What type of world did we get into where we're believing TikTokers over actual dentists or orthodontist? Maybe that's where I come in. I'm bridging the gap. I have been here since the very beginning teaching you guys. So hopefully it's helpful help some of you. Let's see in the comments if some people have my back. Someone said they don't care if you have braces. They still do the cleaning. And that's actually half of the dentists out there. They'll do your cleaning with the braces in. So that's another thing. It's like you're already just wasting your time. So you definitely ask your dentist if you even need to get your braces and wires out. But as an orthodontist, we're very happy to just take them out really quickly, let you go to your cleaning, and then put them right back in. Gino, what's she doing? And someone said, this hurts my heart. Do not do this. Yeah, see, I knew there were some people out there that watch my videos, and you guys are just trying to be the voice of reason when I'm not there. Someone said, don't do that. What the hell, big no. See, I think, I'm starting to get the feeling that we're healing. We're healing as a world. You guys are learning. I love this. And someone said the wire can shift and delay treatment. That's right. If you mess something up, break a bracket, put the wire in wrong, you can get up to 10 weeks further in treatment because we got to drop back, we got to get the wire because your teeth have moved, you're doing these, like so many things can go wrong, and it can even set you back up to 10, 20 weeks in treatment. That's a lot of time extra in braces just because you decided to mess around. Regardless, I don't think I need to say anything more. You guys know exactly what you're doing here, and hopefully you guys keep, going in the comment brigade and telling everybody to not do this. I really appreciate it. People literally ripping their entire teeth out of their mouth with an impression material, to red lipstick, to all these crazy things, to what it looks like underneath crowns, and some crazy stuff today. Trust me, you're gonna be seeing some wild stuff, and you might even learn something along the way too, like always. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, you guys tag me in this. Looks like we're doing a little impression. You said this was a cursed impression. I don't know why. Yeah, we're getting it out. It does get pretty hard sometimes whenever you take it over. Whoa, pause real quick. What the hexies? This man just ripped out all these people's teeth in this. Is there anything else crazy from? What the heck? Oh my gosh, he's literally taking them out. I mean, that's a legit impression, and those are legit real teeth. I know because I have a whole entire container of real teeth somewhere. Trust me, it's not a weird thing. It's totally normal for dentists to hold real teeth. It really is, because we keep the teeth that we take out to give to dental students to practice on it. It's a long story. We don't have to get into it. But what the heck is going on here? Bentist, is this even possible? Can you really rip out your teeth in the impression? And the answer is yes, because you see what happens is if you have gum disease and bone disease, your bone will go away, right? Or imagine like a post in the ground, right? If you take out the dirt from around the post, that post can just fall over. And so if you have something hard, like an impression that goes up in there and hardens around that tooth, if you don't have enough bone supporting that tooth and they're all wiggly biggly in your mouth, if you take it out, yes, you can actually pull somebody's teeth with an impression. And I've done it before. And pretty much every dentist in the world has probably done it at some point in some time, have done this because they've taken an impression on somebody with a really loose tooth and it just came right out. In fact, sometimes if people are getting impressions done for like dentures and stuff, it's really common because they've already lost a bunch of teeth, and then you get in there and you pop some out and you're like, well, I guess we're adding an extra tooth to that denture because, well, yours just came in. Now, luckily for you, it's not very common. If you have healthy teeth, you're brushing your teeth, which I tell you guys to do all the time with something nice products, obviously, because they're the best in the world. But anyways, I tell you guys to brush your teeth for that reason. And if you brush your teeth, you take care of them. Don't worry if you get an impression, it's not gonna happen. And also, luckily for you, we don't do impressions like this anymore, really. I mean, they probably do sometimes in crowns and very unique situations, but now we do digital scanning. We take little digital 3D scans of the mouth, so this actually is impossible and it cannot happen with a digital scan. Let's go to the comments right off the gate. We got two pictures. We got the one guy's like, and that's totally true. That's the first look that I gave whenever I saw those teeth come out. And the second one is literally the person with one tooth left. It's like, hey doc, what happened to all my teeth? They're all gone now. You guys are cracking me up with these photos. We got this one of the dogs like, we got the Pepe the Frog one over there too. So. Yeah, but seriously, don't worry too much. I know this looks crazy, and it probably is crazy. To be honest, it's probably fake. He probably put all those in like a fake denture tooth model and then took the impression and then faked it all. So don't worry about it. This is probably not gonna happen to you. Probably. And you thought that was bad getting your teeth out with an impression, but what if you got your fake teeth out? What does it look like underneath? I bet you it's gonna surprise you. Take a look at this. All right, looks like we've got, ooh, they're removing some, oh my gosh. That's exactly what I'm talking about, guys, when I talk to you guys about getting crowns. A lot of people don't realize that underneath the crowns, it looks a little different, and looking at it just like that, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So if you pause right there at the beginning, this person has a 6-unit bridge. That means 6 of the teeth are all connected together. That means she got all of these teeth shaved down for the crowns, and a lot of people don't realize this. Yes, you have to literally whittle down your tooth to a nub to get a crown over the top of it, because you can't just put, I mean, actually now there are prepless veneers and things like that, which I highly recommend talking to your dentist about over the old school versions of these things. But anyways, this girl got crowns all the way across. And what people don't realize is, one, one, if something breaks on one of them, especially in a bridge, you gotta get everything removed, the whole entire bridge removed, not just one teeth. So I very highly recommend single crowns, even though they're more expensive because you can clean better on them. But when she removes them, and we can fast forward to when she removes them, you can see what's underneath. We've got swelling of the gum tissue, we've got a bunch of discoloration and plaque and gunk and probably decay that's been working its way up underneath there over the years. Just overall, a really nasty experience. And a lot of people don't realize that all their favorite celebrities that have veneers, crowns, and all their favorite rappers with those grills, that's what their teeth really look like underneath there. Not the prettiest sight. Now from here, what they do is they actually clean everything up. They'll get any decay that is in there, and then they'll put probably new crowns. I'm hoping they do single crowns on her, just because, you know, overall the cleaning is just so much better. She's not missing any teeth, so there's really no reason to have a bridge at all. Really, that's the only reason you would need a bridge is if you want to, you know, replace a tooth that's missing, and even then, I would much rather you get an implant. Let's see what the comments have to say. I'm not gonna lie, I can't read any of these comments because, well, they're all in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish, so maybe somebody can tell me what one of these comments says down below. This one got 13,000 views. Hopefully it doesn't say anything bad because, you know, I can't read Spanish. But regardless, for you, the answer is just basically take care of your teeth, brush your teeth. If you don't like the shape of your teeth, then get a prepless veneer or something, or get some braces and some composite bonding or something to change the shape of your teeth, or some gum lasering. There's 100 different ways other than just shaving all your teeth off. Hope that helps. Now, we've been talking about curses already, but what if I told you this man has a curse? A curse. He had a face card so lethal that God had to curse him because he looked so good. This is what I'm talking about. Face card so lethal that I got nerfed by having crooked teeth. Oh my goodness gracious. You know, that is something that's out there. I'm assuming, you know, we have balances. It's a balancing act, you know, and if you look that good in the face card, you got the jawline, all that, you know, we gotta nerf you somehow because it's just too unfair. But if you actually pause it, this man's got, interestingly enough, a ton of crowding. He has what we call blocked out teeth. Now, normally this happens because you lose baby teeth too early. And if you lose baby teeth too early, those baby teeth will just basically kind of fall into each other and close up that space, and then the permanent teeth have nowhere else to go, and so they either go out through the front or they go out through the back. And you can actually see he got a tooth that came out all the way inside by his tongue and another teeth that's like coming out from the side. Now, Bentist, what do we do to fix this and get this man all the way to A1 proper face card and mouth card going on here? Well, he'd have to go into braces, and if he has a really severe amount, he may even have to get teeth taken out. I normally don't take teeth out in people. We use springs to open up space, and we expand and we do everything possible. But sometimes if people have just such severe crowding, sometimes you may even have to take teeth out, and that's pretty rare coming from me. But yeah, after he gets into braces, I would open up a spring. I would try and get everything in there without taking teeth out, see what it looks like after 6 to 12 months, and see if we need to do any IPR or anything, which is the polishing between the teeth to upright the teeth. And then from there, if he looks good, then we go for it. If he doesn't, then, you know, maybe think about taking out one incisor from the lower, or maybe some premolars or something like that, and then he would be looking good. You know what I'm saying? We'd be getting him there. We'd be matching the face card with the mouth card. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what the people said in the comments. I'm sure there was nothing mean in there. He said the nerf is so bad, bro. You know what? It's just not, the world's not fair, okay? You know, the world's not fair. And someone said, of course, the people who say is the face card in the room with us don't post their face. That's true. I mean, this man had the cojones to get on here and post his face. And to be honest, I thought he had a good facial shape and everything. I thought he did have a good face card. I don't know. You guys let me know. Do you think he's ugly, or do you think he look good? You know, body positivity, everybody looks good in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Someone said, the moment this dude gets braces, it's over for everyone. And you know, that's funny thing is, because we see people all the time that are just, they come in completely like unsure of themselves. They're really shy. They're just kind of like this. And then when we get done with braces, they got them straight smiles. They got a girlfriend now. They're like, you know, varsity QB all of a sudden. They're like strutting. They're like, yeah, buddy. So I'm saying, like, braces is a big deal, and it does change a lot of people's impressions of themselves and from other people. It exudes confidence in them, if you know what I'm saying. But you know what? Shout out to this guy. I'm sure he's going to be looking good one day after he gets his teeth fixed. Not that he doesn't look good. You know what I'm saying. Now, you thought crooked teeth was bad. What about red teeth? Yeah, that's right, red teeth. You know what? It'd be better to just show you than explain to you. All right, you guys told me I had to see this. Man repellent. Did I just see red teeth man repellent makeup? Oh my gosh, what is this? Okay, so this is apparently an actual tooth shade. So it's actually something you can put on your mouth. That's kind of wild looking. I don't know if I go with red. Cryolan official tooth enamel in red. And she's really just painting that on there, isn't she? It's giving torture chamber. It's giving scary. Oh my gosh, it kind of looks like she has no teeth. I'm not even gonna lie. When she smiles, it literally kind of looks like she literally is like, you know, a gummy smile, you know, or whatever. Like it's like grandma with her dentures. She's like, you know, I'm not gonna lie. If she's trying to repel men, you know, whatever. You know, I guess you don't need no man. You know what I mean? Personally, not a fan of the red tooth look, but you know what? She's just trying to express herself. She's trying to look different. She's shaved her eyebrows. She's got now eyebrow barbells. You know, she's lifting. She's trying to get some eyebrow gains in there. You know, I see, you know, express yourself, as they would say. Express yourself. You know what I'm saying. Let's go to the comments. Someone literally put the Minecraft in there. Tough. Maybe some people like it. I'm not a big fan, but you know, maybe it is tough these days. I don't know. That's funny. Someone said, I don't get why people say smile, it's free, when not smiling is also free and doesn't require effort. You know what? Some people just don't want to smile, okay? I personally think the happiness is the better way to go. And that positivity, fun fact, if you smile, it will actually make you happier. It will physically induce the dopamine and the centers in your brain to actually tell your body to be happy. So I would very much rather you be smiling than frowning all the time, personally. Someone say, yeah, get it, girl. You know what? I guess, get it, girl. But you know what, in the end, you know, I would say you do you, boo-boo. You know what I'm saying? Will this hurt her teeth? No, it's just some enamel tooth polish, probably not gonna, just wipes right off. So if you like red teeth, go on and have your red teeth, you know what I'm saying? But to be honest, I don't think she cares what I think. You know what's scarier than taking your own braces off? Breaking your teeth when you take them off. That's right, you guys tagged me and said this crazy video was about to happen. Let's go ahead and watch it. All right, throw back to the time I snapped my tooth trying to remove my braces. This is what I tell you guys, don't remove your own braces.
Oh my gosh, got your stupid ass. Got your stupid ass so badly.
Oh, well that was rude. I'm not gonna lie, he did kind of get me with that little trick, you know, where you're like, I'm gonna break my nose. Oh, you guys never did that? Come on, tell me you guys did that in elementary school. But even though my man did not break his tooth in half, I actually have seen people hurt and harm and take their enamel off by trying to pop off their brackets, especially with this whole spoon trend going on. You know what I'm talking about. Another question is, where did he get the actual braces pliers to remove his own braces? That's kind of wild anyways. But to be honest, don't do this, guys. I've been talking to you guys about it. It's a really serious thing because you can actually break the tooth off. You can literally break the tooth off in half if you're prying on it too much. And, you know, not to mention all the other bad things that have happened. This is a trend that's been going on recently, and I'm happy that this guy is actually kind of, you know, I would say he's sticking up for me a little bit. He's like, I got you. You didn't think I was gonna actually rip off my braces. I'm not stupid. But I was gonna say, you guys tagged me and said he broke his tooth. I was like, I swear, if we've gone to the point that people are actually physically damaging their teeth now, I'm gonna get on ABC Good Morning America. We're gonna talk about this. Let's see what the comments have to say. Surely they've got my back. He said, had me stressing for what? That was me too. I was about to throw hands. I was about to come in there like, I'm about to take these people out, taking their braces off, telling people it's cool. It's not cool. Oh my gosh, literally said, I can literally see the dentist guy coming, and he said, tag him. That's right, well, you did get me. He did get me. I'm not gonna lie on this one. He did get me, but I'm glad that he got me because I would rather him get me than actually rip his braces off, because that would be a terrible idea. All right, now I got tagged in this picture of an x-ray, and it is a gnarly one. This guy said literally, dear dentist, how cooked am I? And we're gonna actually take a look at it, and so let's go ahead and see what it says. You guys tagged me in this x-ray, said, dear dentist, how cooked am I? Well, let's see how cooked you are. Definitely cooked, brother. He got the double lay down special over here. So actually, if you're looking at this, what you were looking at, we have these things called impacted molars. You know what I'm saying? You've got 3 molars. Fun fact, we got a first molar that comes in at 6 years old. We got a second molar that comes in at 12 years old, and we got a third molar that comes in around 18 years old. See, they're about 6 years apart from there. And normally we see the third molars can get what's called impacted. Okay, now the impacted can be just stuck a little bit, or it can be laying down completely on the side like this one does. But this man's got something even crazier. He got the double lay down. He actually has a second and third molar that have been impacted, which is really, really rare. And the third molar is even scarier because that thing laying over that little canal that you see that sits right on top of it, that's your inferior alveolar nerve. And that's actually a nerve that runs through here. And if you take that tooth out, that molar out at the bottom, then you're probably going to damage that nerve and probably lose all the sensory of this side of your face. So it'd be like this whole side of your face is just numb all the time. Not a good idea. So is he cooked? Yeah, he's pretty cooked, because normally you would pull one of the teeth and then you would upright the other, like that one sitting on top, you could kind of upright it. But the problem is there's no room underneath it now because there's another molar underneath it. So my guess is he's gonna have to get them both out because you gotta get the top one to get to the bottom one. And even then, he may never even get that bottom one out because the dentist is probably gonna say, hey, that's attached to your nerve, that's too dangerous, we don't really wanna go there. So they'll probably take out the top one and then leave the bottom one completely, and then because they're afraid that the nerves are going on. That's a gnarly looking one right there. That's cursed for show. Let's look at the comments. Dr. Sable, that's funny. She looked at the camera, she was like, not cooked? Meaning, yes, you're cooked. You're pretty cooked. He said, not seeing your dentist driving his new Lamborghini with your money. You know, fun fact, actually, extractions are not that much money. We don't get a ton of money, although these are wisdom teeth extractions. You're probably gonna have to go to an oral surgeon, and yes, those oral surgeons do make the moolah pulling out your teeth. Your dentist, when he sees that x-ray, you know, I wish I could pull teeth still. I can't do that. Fun fact, when you're an orthodontist, you can't do general dentistry anymore. I can't do fillings, I can't do crowns, I can't do veneers, I can't do anything like that because I decided to specialize in orthodontics. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. I'm just mad because I can't make money pulling teeth these days either. Ooh, we got another dentist here. I don't think extracting the bottom tooth is a smart idea, as it is laying on your mandibular nerve. The one above it shouldn't be too hard to extract. Good luck. And then right underneath it, we had a dentistry student here. What the hell? And that's exactly what I would say too, is I think you can take the top one out. The bottom one is probably gonna stay there because that nerve issue that's going on. Either way, crazy case. All right, this next one is a crazy case of braces that you guys tagged me and I said, what the heck's is going on here? I'll just show you. I'll show you. When you're at this point in your, oh my gosh, we got steel ties going out everywhere. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's like a freaking, it's like a cat almost. So what you're looking at here is steel ties. And the caption is, if you know, you know. Well, I hope you don't know, because this is a very old school approach. It happens in the traditional side of braces, which you look at her braces there, she's got the old school braces with the silver ties. So basically what it looks like, let me see if we can actually see the wires up close here. Normally I would think that maybe this is in the point of the treatment where we do TMA bends, is where we make all these little bends in the wire to actually straighten out your teeth. And sometimes in these old school brackets, they can't really hold on to your tooth very well. So they use these extra steel ties to lock everything down to get the maximum amount of pressure on everything. The problem with that is it causes a lot of friction in the system and causes a lot of unwanted movements that we don't have. Now, luckily for you guys, we have brackets that are self-ligating passive brackets now, which use a little door system instead of the O-tie. And so you don't have to do steel ties, you don't have to do the metal bands, you don't have to do all this crazy old school stuff. It's actually wild to me that orthodontists still practice like this and put their patients through this. I mean, she had to sit there and have every single tooth steel tied like that. That's crazy. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. It's painful. It's just not my favorite. Let's see if there's any hints in the comments of what's going on. Let's see if anybody's talked about it. Someone said changing out guitar strings. Exactly. Now, I mean, every now and then, if you have one tooth that just can't sit in there, if a bracket breaks or if a door pops off or something like that, you can use a steel tie to tie things down. But there should never be like every single patient of yours is going through this and every single patient is getting all of them doing. Someone said, I don't remember doing that. That's because you shouldn't. Most people should not be doing this, and if your orthodontist does this on every patient, I would go to a new orthodontist. I'm not gonna lie, because this is just very old school. You know, it's kind of like using the old school brick Nokia phones when you have access to, you know, an iPhone 16 Pro Max or something like that. It just doesn't make any sense. And someone said, I had braces for 3 years, got them off last month, never happened to me. She said, lucky you. And someone said, this is the right technique for MBT, which if you guys don't know is a type of prescription of the bracket. It's the style of the bracket. Like I said, you don't need this anymore. Go to somebody that does passive self-ligation. Damon is probably the biggest one on the market. If you see that they use Damon, that's a good sign that they're probably not gonna take teeth out on you. They're gonna do things at the maximal way for your body, and you're not gonna have to go through all this crazy stuff anymore. So that's my personally. Now, will it work and will it get you through to the end? Yes, it will. Just like that Nokia brick cell phone can still call your grandmother. There's just easier ways.
My gum to tooth ratio is insane. It always has been. You can't really tell when I'm talking, but you can tell when I laugh. And it's just not my thing, but you can
know exactly where this is going. This is going to be a gingivectomy, and these are the craziest teeth transformations that I see because they're really simple, they're really easy, they're really quick, they heal good, and then they just have an amazing transformation. If you guys don't know, underneath your gum tissue, normally there can be teeth hiding there. So if you've ever seen your teeth, like if you look here, she's got a lot of gum showing, okay? But up underneath that gum, your teeth aren't naturally short, they're actually pretty long. And so if you have short teeth and a lot of gum showing, you could have exactly what this girl does. These transformations are insane, so let's actually see how it goes. Let's continue.
I have a lot of tooth up there, It's just my gums covered half of my tooth.
Exactly.
So the procedure I'm getting done today is called a gingivectomy.
Perfect. That's what a gingivectomy is, also known as gum lasering. They can use scalpels to take it off, but now what they use is actually gum gingival lasers to remove the stuff. And so you can see just how shorter the teeth are on the before than the after. So I'm excited to see what hers looks like.
Kind of as a little demo to show you what it's going to look like. I also get to try on my demo veneers, so that'll be fun. But here is the after today.
Oh my gosh.
As you
So
can see,
obviously the after here, a little bit gnarly looking, but you can just see how much gum has been removed. Now it looks kind of crazy here. It does look like they didn't do the laser version. I would highly recommend using the laser version rather than the scalpel version. It heals a lot better personally, and it's quicker. But you can just see how much her smile has changed. Now she has just nothing but teeth in her smile instead of all that gum tissue.
bloody, swollen, they hurt, but look at how big my teeth are. My teeth actually are really, really big. There's like a good amount of space there.
Now I promise you, once this all heals up, it's going to look amazing. The gum tissue is going to fill in. It's going to be nice. But this is something that is just so easy to do. It blows my mind that more people aren't getting this done. And in fact, the crazy thing is, a lot of people choose to get veneers because they have small, short teeth, and so their teeth are hiding up underneath this gum tissue the entire time, and then they just build them longer with some fake teeth or fake veneers or stuff like that. Let's go to the comments. That looks so painful. You know, the fun fact, the lasering is actually not painful at all. They actually cauterize the nerve as you go through, and it heals within like a day or two. So like I said, get the lasering version. She said, wait, you have nice teeth. I don't think you need veneers, but do what makes you happy. And I did catch that in the video. She said she was gonna get veneers and pre-made veneers go on, but looking at it after the gum lasering, it does not look like she needs veneers at all. And I really hope that she sees this video and decides not to get the veneers, because that's absolutely insane. And in fact, most of the people want the veneers because it thinks it solves the problem. Instead, the gum lasering can just solve the problem for you sometimes if you have that big gummy smile and shorter teeth. But what do you guys think? Would you get the gum laser, and would you go through it if you had short teeth? I definitely would. Now, speaking of teeth transformations for the good, this one could be for the bad. I don't know. Let's check it out. All right, what do we got here? She's in a dental office, and those teeth are looking mighty funky. Oh my gosh, she's getting the turkey teeth. No. And then she's all done. Oh my gosh, you guys actually tagged me in this a ton because you were like, oh my gosh, Bentist, this girl's ruining her teeth. So let's actually look and see what we've got going on here. So when I pause it at the very beginning, you actually see these teeth and say, this girl is probably not taking care of her teeth. And in fact, the look at the front four, she's already got crowns on her teeth. But in fact, these are not yellow, nasty teeth that have cavities in them. She actually has something called ameliogenesis imperfecta. And that's basically where that enamel just does not form good on your teeth, and the teeth enamel just kind of breaks off, and so underneath your teeth is this dentin layer which looks a little yellower, and that's why her teeth look like she hasn't been taking care of them. It's actually because the enamel has not formed properly. So she started out already having her front four teeth crowned because those are the first four teeth that come in, and so they kind of got ruined first, so she had to get her crowns. So she's actually not doing anything negative here. If we keep going through, she's actually just getting a lot of these done. So she's got all these teeth whittled down to prepared to be crowned, not because she was doing these turkey teeth or anything like that, but because the enamel has probably gotten so bad on all these teeth. Hey, she's like, hey, it's time. We got to get these things taken care of. She's taking it good, but then if you go to the end, you know, you can see where she's got her final crowns, and it looks pretty good for her, especially compared to the ameliogenesis imperfecta look which you see before. And if you really look, she only got her stuff canine to canine done. I don't know, let me continue to the final end look. Yeah, so she only got the front, you know, canine to canine there done. She hasn't even gotten these crowned yet. My guess is further in her life, that enamel will probably break off and wear off enough too, where she'll have to get those crowned as well, unfortunately. So while some people are getting their turkey teeth and ruining their teeth on purpose, her teeth are already naturally ruining themselves genetically via the ameliogenesis imperfecta. So she actually has to get this done. She's one of the only people that I know of that I actually recommend turkey teeth to, because, well, she absolutely has to have something, and you can tell when she smiles, it looks so much better. People aren't going to judge her and take a look at this and say she's ruining her teeth, and she will probably have a much better time going about her day with just the confidence of the overall look. Let's check out the comments. And I think this sums it up perfectly, because the top two comments are, thanks for reminding me to brush brush my teeth, Lord. And then right underneath of it, somebody countering back saying, y'all realize their teeth are like this because of medical reasons, right? And that's exactly right. She probably has people judge her all the time, thinking that she does not take care of her teeth when in fact she just had a medical condition the whole time. In fact, another medical condition you can have is tetracycline staining, where your mom had a bunch of tetracycline or something when she had you, and you have gray teeth sometimes. That's crazy. Another thing is fluoride. If you had a lot of fluoride in your well water, you can have all these white spots all over your teeth from fluorosis of your teeth. There's a lot of reasons your teeth can look a little funky. And oh my gosh, what a mean picture to throw up there with all the fangs on there. And she goes, accurate. So that's probably how she felt about herself before getting these crowns. And now she's got the crowns on. Hopefully she feels a lot better about herself. Regardless, good for you and congrats on your transformation. All right, you guys tagged me a ton in this. I knew acrobats were some crazy stuff, but I did not know they went this far, especially with their mouths. Pause. Anyways, let's watch the video and figure it out together. All right, you guys tag. Oh my God, they are floating in the air. What? Hold up, let me pause that. Are they, you know, for a second there when I first saw this, I literally thought they were like biting on, like he had his tongue and she was just like biting on his tongue. Can you imagine that, dude? It would literally rip your tongue out of your face. I highly would not recommend it. Oh my gosh, they're just spinning and dude, that is crazy. My guess is sometimes they have what's called these like little leather straps that they can bite on with a mouthpiece or something that can kind of hold them in there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so at the very end, it looks like it's just a simple little like tiny block or tiny little leather piece or something like that that they're holding on to. What an insane feat of strength. So okay, now we're talking about this Bentist. What does this mean? What complications could we have from this? So obviously one thing is you're not really meant to put a ton of stress on your front teeth. You're really supposed to put it on your back teeth. So I'm hoping that maybe this thing in their mouth goes all the way back to their back teeth so they can really clench down and bite. Now, speaking of clenching for a really long time, yes, you can probably exacerbate some TMJ issues here because you're really pulling on these joints. Not to mention that, but you could hurt some neck muscles and things like that. If you do this all the time and a lot, which I'm assuming they probably don't do a ton, and when they do, they only do it for small stints. If you do this for too long, you can actually pull these teeth, and the pressure of these grabbing on these teeth can actually affect your jaw and can cause your jaw to grow forward, weirdly enough. It would actually physically tell your body to grow these jaws forward if you held this, say, 24/7 all the time. Obviously, they're only doing this for a minute though. Another thing is if you're clenching really hard like this, you can have a chance to crack and cause the abrasion lines to happen through these teeth, and you can actually crack your teeth in half and wear them down over time. Regardless, these people probably had to train for this, and this is absolutely insane and shows you the amount of strength that your jaw has, because your jaw has an insane amount of pressure force that it can generate. These comments got me laughing. Got the dog one. I have a question. No, seriously, like who decided this was gonna happen? Like who was like, hey, you know what? I got an idea for an acrobat thing. I'm gonna hang off your teeth with my teeth. That'll get them. Someone said, y'all don't understand how tongue-tied you have to be to achieve this. Literally, that's what I was literally thinking. I was like, I thought that he was literally like, she was just, that would be bad. Your tongue would literally rip out. So I highly recommend don't doing that. And that's for real the exact face that I was making when I first saw this. I was like, but you know what? Who am I to judge what people do in their free time? You do whatever you want to do, boo-boo. But to make sure that it would go a little bit easier, I would build like a little mouthpiece to go up inside the mouth to kind of anchor it down and maybe make that piece a little bit longer so that you can get all that pressure to your back molars. I think that will make it a little bit more stable and probably make it a little bit safer for your teeth. Also add some cushion in there so you're not wrecking your teeth by cracking them in half. That'd probably help too. Now in this next video, it's got me a little messed up, okay? Because I know that you guys are officially declaring war on me and I don't like it. Let's see. Okay, you guys tagged me in this, said that I would be so upset. Okay, hold up. Are you guys declaring war on me as the Bentist? Is this war? Have you declared war on me for what I've done for 6 years? I've done nothing but educate you guys and tell the truth, and this is how you repay me? This is like the 15th video you guys have tagged me in of you guys ripping your braces off with spoons. Seriously, what is it? Is there like a secret coalition going on my back, like texting each other through WhatsApp saying, we got another one, let's get it off with this. Don't do this. I mean, seriously, she's just popping them off like Cracker Jacks. Guys, this is seriously not cool. And we have another one going viral. Almost 70,000 people like this. Why are you guys liking this stuff? It's dangerous. It's unhealthy. It's not good for your teeth. You can rip off your enamel. How many times do I gotta react to this and tell you guys don't do this before you stop? For the new people out here that don't understand what we got going on, we got an epidemic of people trying to rip off their braces, and I have to stop it. You see, 1, you can rip off your enamel doing this. You really can. You can harm yourself. 2, you're gonna have the glue on your teeth. What are you gonna buy, a Dremel tool from Amazon and you're gonna rip it off with yourself? Don't do that either, because that's bad tooth, because they're not meant for tooth. You're gonna rip your tooth off. 3, if you had braces and you had crooked teeth and you moved them to straight, they're gonna go back because you've got no retainer afterwards unless you got a retainer making machine in your mouth. It really frustrates me. So, surely somebody has stood up for me in the comments. Somebody, please. Oh my gosh, I'm back. I'm back as the meme. Someone said any dentist who are watching this. But yeah, exactly. That's what. And she spent a little crying, laughing faces like it's funny. It's not funny. It's not fun. And then a little Barbie doll face. Exactly. That's how we need to treat these people. You see one of your friends or somebody taking their braces off with a spoon, you need to give them that exact treatment and say, I'm not friends with you anymore. That's not friends behavior right there. You know what they say? We listen and we don't judge. No, we're judging this time. I'm judging hard. Don't do it. You know, we at least got somebody on there. We said, as an orthodontist, please don't try this at home. It can break the layer of your tooth. And that's exactly right. You can literally pop off the enamel layer of your teeth doing that. We have a special instrument that cracks the bracket in half. It like crushes it on itself to pop it nicely off the tooth without damaging any of the enamel. Don't do this. I swear, if I see one more video of this, I'm coming down there and I'm gonna figure out who's manufacturing the spoons. We're getting rid of spoons. You're gonna have to eat with a fork for the rest of your life. How do you like that? You stop your friends from doing this. PSA, okay? We need to hashtag stop the spoons. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We'll figure it out. But seriously, I'm here to help you. Please, save your teeth. Don't do that. Now this girl doesn't even have a teeth transformation. Her teeth just don't work. What do I mean by that? Well, we're just gonna have to show you. Point of view, my teeth don't work. What do you mean by my teeth don't work? Oh! She was actually being real. Her teeth don't work. Oh my gosh, so that is what we call an open bite, guys. That's an open bite. And this is actually really common. We see this a lot. And in fact, open bites are one of the only bites that have actual issues with like eating and things like that. Like it actually causes you to have problems doing the basic necessities of life. It's really open bites and underbites. Both of those we see have a lot of trouble chewing, eating, and can really cause even like malnutrition issues in kids. And so she has a tiny one, so only the slice of cheese go in there. But actually I had somebody who had an open bite that we just fixed, and he said that he was so happy that he could eat a burger finally, because he used to eat sandwiches or burgers and he would bite down and then the tomato would be left. Like the tomato would just, and he could just pull it out and it would just be the tomato, the whole tomato just sitting there because he couldn't bite down all the way through the sandwich. And he was like so happy he could just take a full bite through a sandwich instead of pulling tomatoes out of his burgers. And so this girl has a pretty small open bite. You can actually see it if you pause there whenever she's biting down here. Let's see when she pulls it out. Yeah, so you can actually see that little gapping, that little space between there. So how would we fix this, Bentist? Well, it's actually pretty simple. You would put some braces on there and you would brag it and you would drag those 4 teeth down. You see, we want an overbite of your teeth. So we actually do want an overlapping of your teeth so that you can bite down and you can chew. And so if you have too much of that, we call that a deep bite. But you can have not enough of it and also have an open bite. So we actually want those teeth to overlap about 20% to have optimal chewing experiences. Let's go to the comments. I don't try harder. I don't know. Yeah, no, literally as hard as you try, it's not gonna happen. And unfortunately, it's really, really annoying for these people. Like I tell people, like when you lose your teeth, like you don't realize, that's why I tell people don't ever like pull all their teeth and get dentures. Like do everything you can to save your teeth, because you do not realize how important just utilizing your teeth are. And people that don't appreciate having front teeth to actually bite into things don't understand it until they lose it. And then once they lose it, they're like, oh my gosh, I took that so much for granted. Someone said, I have this too. I may need to get jaw surgery to fix it. I mean, if you have a really crazy open bite, maybe. Most of the time, open bites are due to like habits like tongue thrusting, where you push the tongue when you swallow and it causes your teeth to flare out. So actually open bites are fairly easy to fix. If you have a really crazy one, sometimes you may need jaw surgery, but most of the time you'll be just fine. In fact, what we do is we actually use a little rubber band. We put a little open bite rubber band in here that's like a little thing, and when you open your mouth, it closes it down. It works really well. Someone said, this would be driving me crazy. It would be driving me crazy too. But anyways, that's what your answer is, girl. If you don't like it, go get some braces, fix it. It would really only take about a year to fix something like this, year and a half, something like that. So it's actually not too hard to fix. So hopefully she can do it and then go back to finally eating her cheese. Now this girl couldn't eat because of her teeth, but this girl found out a way to eat better because of her braces. Let's see her life hack. All right, you said point of view eating corn, but you have braces. What do we got going on here, right? Oh my gosh, that is actually so smart. Wait, why are we not eating corn like that all the time? She literally just shaves it off. Wait, how do you do that? You just literally, do you have to cook it first and then shave it off? You would have to, right? Oh my gosh, I'm so confused. That's actually so smart, because corn is one of the things that's the most annoying with braces. You try and bite into it and it just gets up underneath all your wires and stuff, and then can actually break off your brackets because you're pushing into that wire and the wire is like pulling up on the brackets and popping it off. But I never thought about making corn chips. This is a new type of corn chip. And I've even seen like the people make corn ribs before. You've ever seen like the Hispanic corn ribs, the Mexican corn ribs? Those are really, really good too. But the problem is they have like still a hard plate, so you still have to like kind of good on them. This is like shaved corn. This is like American ingenuity. What do we even got going on here? Let's look at the comments. Someone said, literally, I swear it is 10 times better like this. Seriously, why are we not eating all corn like this? Like, imagine like you have a plate of corn like this and they put like some butter on top with some salt. That sounds amazing. You could even air fry it and make them crispy. I don't know. Someone said, I hate brushing my teeth after corn. Exactly, that's what I'm talking about, especially in braces. If you ever seen someone with braces and corn, you know what I'm talking about. It gets disgusting real quick. Someone said, when I had braces, I didn't change a single eating habit and my brackets never broke. Well, I'm sorry. I guess you're just perfect at everything, aren't you, Mr. Perfect? Shout it in the comments if you know where that came from. But yeah, you may be special, but everybody else is not, okay? Not everybody. Trust me, some people out there are gonna break a bracket, even if they're on there really good. You know, I've had this bracket on there for like almost 3 years now and I've never broke it. Yeah, so what's your excuse? But anyways, let me know, would you like corn like that? I feel like corn. This could be a thing. This could be a real thing. I'm just saying, I think restaurants should take note because I want my corn like this from now on out. And you wouldn't talk about a teeth transformation. What about a retainer transformation? This girl figured out a way to transform her retainers into something she actually wanted to wear. Let's check it out. All right, making grills from Invisalign. What? How is she painting a little nail polish and chrome powder on it? And you make gold grills. Look at that. And then she put like a clear coat on top of it. Yo. Dude, those actually look pretty good. Man, if only somebody had done this before. I wonder where she got the inspiration for this. Yeah, but funny enough, I just used like gold Sharpie paint. Highly don't recommend, very toxic. But to be honest, nail polish and chrome powder, probably not that safe either. So even if this looks amazingly cool, it's probably still not safe to be leaching that stuff into your mouth at night, but it does make it look a lot better. Seriously though, why have we not created a way to make retainer grills yet? It baffles me. Let's see what you guys said in the comments. You could have just bedazzled them, gang. That's true, I have seen the people bedazzle them, but then once again, we've got super glue issues, okay? Super glue is also not good for your mouth. Girl, just buy a costume grill. Using nail polish is not safe. And not only that, I didn't even think about this, but she's ruining her retainer, you know? So it's like, that's your retainer. And your retainers cost a lot of money. So if you really just want the gold grill for a little look for the time being, I mean, you only wear your retainers full time for like 3 months and then you go to nighttime wear only after that. So honestly, I would not ruin my retainer because that's way more expensive than just buying a $5 costume grill off of Alibaba or Amazon or something. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Someone said, what about retainer checks? You imagine going back to your orthodontist, it's like, hey, let's see how things are going. And someone else said, mind you, a new tray is $200 plus. Exactly, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. This is too expensive, guys. Don't do this. Don't waste your money, even though it does look cooler. I don't know. I should probably figure out some way to sell you guys the retainer gold grills or figure something out. Or maybe just even make, like, I don't know, they make that tooth polish. Maybe we could use that. Maybe you could use that. It's actually the tooth polish that's safe, but then I think that comes off really easily, so that probably would just fall off in your mouth and you'd swallow it. Really, I don't think there's a good way to do this yet. Keyword there was yet.